Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Aso Tarot, and in today's Pick a Heart card pile reading, we are going to be looking at your current or next significant relationship. So I've done this reading once before, probably 9 months ago, and it was a bit chaotic. So since it is close to Valentine's Day, I really just wanted to take the time and do this reading again and do it in a way where I feel like it's less chaotic. So we have 4 piles for you guys to choose from today. Starting with pile 1, we have the Tarot in Wonderland deck with this Tiger's Eye heart. And then for pile 2, we have the Lightseer's Tarot with this, bear with me, Chrysocolla, Chrysler heart. And then for pile 3, we have the Cosmic Slumber Tarot as well as this Carnelian heart. And then finally for pile 4, we have the Pink Tiger Tarot as well as this Rose Quartz heart. So if you enjoy this reading and it resonates, there will be an extended today. And in the extended, we are going to be looking at the 18 plus connection between the two of you, the physical connection between the two of you. And we're also going to be looking at why this person wanted to date you, what they love about you. The tense will depend on whether you're in this relationship or whether not, but we're just going to be kind of having a hype session from your person, and by your person I mean just whoever you happen to be in a relationship with, from their perspective. So that will be linked down below if you're interested. But once you have picked your pile, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box where I will have all of the timestamps listed down below. And then once you have picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and find your reading and I will meet you there. Hi there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Tiger's Eye heart and Tarot in Wonderland, this is going to be your reading on your next / current significant relationship. So what we are going to do first is we are going to look at the energies of the connection as a whole using a person A and person B style. If you're already in this relationship, it should sound like your relationship. So if it doesn't, this is probably not your pile. And for those of you who are asking about a future connection, you might find that the energies might sound like a future you, or you may not necessarily be able to see yourself in one or the other. That's totally okay, because you want to remember that these are future energies, but you should at the very least see parts of yourself that are currently present, or recognize aspects of yourself that you may currently be integrating or changing, learning, growing, any sort of that thing. So I'm going to stop rambling now and we're going to go ahead and get into it. So I want to start with the overall energy of this relationship, and it is strength, which I was actually about to say with this Tiger's Eye. Your connection overall was making me think of courage, so I think strength is very fitting. The frequency of strength supports our ability to harmonize all of our qualities and skills toward being a strong and balanced way of being. This is really beautiful. This is definitely a strong connection. I'm also thinking of the strength card in tarot. So Leo energy, or the month of August or the very end of July, could be significant. It could be a significant time period, or it could be a significant sign, but it certainly doesn't have to be. But from what I can see right off the bat, this connection is going to be really solid, in the sense that not only are you and this person going to really feel one another on a deep level and feel the strength and the intensity of this connection, but I think other people are going to recognize it as well. There may or may not be some people who are envious of this connection, or envious that you may be taken or that your person may be taken. And I think anyone that tries to interfere with this bond is going to quickly realize that messing with it is not going to do anything. Like, I just saw in my head that meme of that lady that's like, honey, you've got a big storm coming. Like, anybody that is coming for you is also coming for your person, and I feel like you and this person are just going to have this really solid connection with one another, where not only can you rely on one another, but you make a great team. Like you'd be the most badass couple in like the, what's that show, the Amazing Race. I've never watched it, but I think they have like couples on there. Even if you guys aren't necessarily very like athletic or something like that, on an energetic level, on an energetic Amazing Race, you guys would be heavy hitters. So let's go ahead now and look at you and your person. So you may find elements of yourself and in both piles. That's absolutely okay. That's usually indicative of mirroring. But if you find that it doesn't sound like you at all, or it doesn't sound like something that resonates with you, this probably isn't your pile, and feel free to pick another one or go about your day doing whatever, sin and you love. So let's go ahead and start with person A. So to start with person A, we have the heart, which is really beautiful. We have the crow. We have I am celebrated. And we have heartbreak. And then for person B, get up. We have the village. We have the rat. We have I am lovable. And we have communication. So these are actually really, really beautiful energies, and I'm gonna get into them more deeply. I'm gonna start over here with person A. But the first thing I just want to say, like right off the bat, is that, or should I say right off the rat? I'm sorry, I'll see myself out. Anyway, you both are definitely misunderstood individuals. And I think that's part of where your individual strength originates. I feel like you both have faced a lot of adversity in your life, and you've been consistently faced with challenges that forced you both to kind of like grow beyond your current circumstances. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with person A over here, the heart. So I definitely think that this is someone with an incredible amount of compassion. I think that they feel their emotions deeply, and they really care about all things, not just living things. Like I feel like the heart person is the type of person to even be respectful towards inanimate objects. Like I can see the heart person being that type of person who accidentally runs into a mannequin and like apologizes, and then it's like, wait, that's a mannequin, but then not feel bad about apologizing to the mannequin because they still ran into the mannequin. Like they're very, very precious. And I think at times maybe they used to wear their heart on their sleeve. I think they do still in circumstances where they feel safe to express their heart, but they've definitely become more guarded as they've gotten older. And with this heartbreak card being here, I definitely think that the heart person is really going to be entering this relationship, or once they're in this relationship, it's going to be very healing for them in the sense that they may have had a past relationship or past experiences that just led in heartbreak, but this person is not going to give up on love. Like they're not going to, or if they did, this connection is going to reignite their heart energy in the sense that they'll realize that their heart is and can be safe with another person if it's the right person. This is somebody who can bounce back from their difficult experiences. And one thing that I do feel when it comes to being in this connection, there may be certain things that trigger the heart person, because they could be small, minute things to the village person, but the heart person may be faced with triggers resurfacing from their past that they are meant to heal and transcend within this connection. And I think that before the heart person enters this relationship and during it, the heart person is going to be kind of on their own self-love journey where they're working really hard to celebrate even the minute aspects of themselves, the minute parts of their life. Like even if on paper they feel like their life isn't going very well, they're learning how to celebrate the day. They're learning how to celebrate their existence, and they're learning how to celebrate just being here and celebrate the fact that they've come so far and that they've grown so much. And one really beautiful thing, I feel like the heart person also has a lot of psychic gifts and psychic abilities. The crow is kind of known for being a very magic animal. I definitely think both people here are very intelligent, just like straight off the cuff, but I think that their intelligence is expressed in different ways. And for the heart person, one of the biggest cogs I was getting, or cogs, that would just be claircognizance. One of the biggest clairs that I was getting, excuse me, is clairsentience. I definitely think that the heart person could be empathic or view themselves as an empath. I definitely think that they just have this big heart, and a lot of their past experiences have been teaching them how to hold space with others without what's the right word? Learning how to hold space for others without taking on the negative emotions involved. In fact, the reason why I kind of paused is I was getting a download about this like little boat here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but in the past, I feel like this heart person may have almost submerged themselves in other people's emotions and experiences to their detriment, if I'm being honest. And it's almost like people may have used this heart person as a way for them to as a way to save themselves, but as a result they may have hurt the heart person. And the heart person, I think, just didn't know at the time how to put themselves first. And it's almost kind of like the heart person is learning how to not let their floating boat be sunk by people that have already lost their ship. You know what I mean? It's almost like this heart person is learning how to bring somebody into their emotional space and bring them into the deepest parts of themselves without allowing anyone to take the love that originates there. Like, the heart person will freely give it, but they're learning how to not let it leak out. They're learning how to save themselves first and not drown in the process of trying to save someone who's already drowning. Because I do think that in the past, maybe this heart person had this like big desire to save others, and maybe was kind of in this like fixer energy. I want to fix things, I want to fix people. And I think that they're realizing that that was just a mechanism for them to kind of avoid their own healing and avoid the things that they needed to quote unquote fix within. And I think as a result, this heart person has been on this huge healing journey of really opening up to their metaphysical gifts and opening up to the more subtle realms. I feel like this heart person is realizing that their sensitivity is a superpower, and it's not something that is meant to tear them down or meant to make them feel weak and small. And it was only people kind of abusing this beautiful heart of theirs. While it was painful, it was difficult, and it brought them a lot of heartbreak, they came back so much stronger. And now coming into this relationship, it's like they have a much healthier understanding of what relationships are supposed to be. They have a much healthier understanding of what is kind of a partner's responsibility and what is an individual's responsibility. I feel like the heart person, when they enter in this relationship and when they're in this relationship, they are going to be aware of the fact that they still have to be responsible for their own happiness. But I do feel like the heart has a very serendipitous energy where they could just be very smiley and joyful. Like, I'm smiling from ear to ear right now, and I feel like that's because the heart person really pours love from the inside out. And I think that you can really see their heart in everything that they do, and it's clear to the people around them that they're just not somebody who can not care about things and not care about others. And I think that this heart person just has a really beautiful heart that needs to be protected at all costs. And then I think that where the heart person went wrong in the past is that they were looking for somebody else to protect their heart, and they've learned through time that they're the ones that needed to protect themselves all along. And so that is what has made them so powerful. And I think in terms of this relationship, the heart person is really going to feel into the energy of the village person without losing themselves. This heart person is learning how to have a sense of self and how to trust themselves, and at the same time tapping into their psychic abilities and things like that. And they're just gonna be in a really beautiful place when this relationship happens, or once it is a thing. If you're already in this relationship, I'm sure, I do want to mention, if you're already in this relationship, I am going to be speaking more so for the people who are not in this relationship yet. So think of it as like, I'm telling you the future, but like the future is now. It's like kind of awesome, right? But let's go ahead and move over to the Village person, because they have kind of a similar energy as well. Whereas I feel like the Heart person has more cosmic intelligence. I feel like the Village person has more like street intelligence. Like they have street smarts. They're very good at reading people. They're very good at protecting themselves and those around them. But I definitely think that they're very misunderstood. I also feel like they are very similar to the Heart person in the sense that they care about people around them. They could also be very family oriented. And it is quite possible that the Village person has lived in the same place their whole life, or maybe these two will meet each other when the Village person is leaving their village or their home base. One thing I do quickly want to mention is that I feel like the Heart person realized that they can find home anywhere as long as their heart is in it. You know, home is where the heart is. Whereas I feel like the Village person has considered one place or like one family unit as home. And I think this relationship is kind of changing that. I do feel like the rat or the Village person, I don't like want to call this person a rat, whether it's you or this person, your person, even if you don't know who they are yet. I feel like they've learned a lot of limiting beliefs from the place that they grew up. I feel like a lot of people may have misunderstood them, not treated them very well, or maybe their family placed like really high expectations on them that they weren't qualified to meet. Like one thing that I'm thinking of, that Albert Einstein quote, I think it's Albert Einstein, but it's like, if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it's gonna live its whole life thinking it's stupid. And I feel like the Village person has just kind of been placed under the same parameters that maybe everybody in their family or everybody in their town is kind of judged by. Or this doesn't have to be a biological family, this could be like a friend group, a very long established friend group at that. And maybe they just have gotten comfortable in conforming to that. But I think that this Heart person in this relationship is actually encouraging the Village person to grow beyond their comfort zone and grow beyond what they know. Because I think what they are realizing, or that they will realize through this connection, is that there are so many parts of them that they were denying about themselves, simply because maybe the people that they grew up around or the people that they're used to told them that these aspects of themselves were bad or were wrong. And I think that both parties here definitely have struggled and probably do still struggle at times with low self-esteem. But the beautiful thing is that I think that these two are like pillars for one another. Like for the rat person, I feel like they are really going to be learning that they deserve love, that they're worthy of love, that they're worthy of being seen for who they truly are, and that their natural self is beautiful. Like this rat doesn't need to transform into something else to be valid or worthy. Like rats are fucking awesome. Like they're so smart. They're so just sweet and cute, and like, can we just talk about how smart they are? And while they may be misunderstood, like there's so many beautiful aspects to who this Village person naturally is. And I do think that one of their love languages will be words of affirmation. So I do think that the rat person will be very dedicated to making the Heart/Crow person feel loved and like reassure them of how they feel and why they feel certain ways. I feel like they're also just going to be very communicative in general. Like they're always going to be letting the Heart person know like what's going on. And it is quite possible that maybe at times these two might be separated for like visa reasons or Rona reasons or for work reasons or something like that. And I feel like this Village person is always going to make sure that the Heart person feels seen, feels heard, and will always let them know what's going on with them. I also feel like the rat person will also be able to tap into what the heart person is like going through or experiencing, and be able to put into words what maybe the heart person can't. So like the rat person might be the type to be like, okay, I'm kind of picking up on this vibe that something I said made you uncomfortable, or that something that happened earlier you weren't too happy with. Like, can you tell me what that is? Or tell me if my reading is off base. Like, I feel like this village person is really going to be the type of person to be very objective and not take things too personally. I do think that the heart person is going to have their work cut out for them in the sense of helping the village person see their worth. I think the fact that they're going to be in a relationship with the heart person is honestly going to make them realize alone how lovable they are. But I do think that before this relationship happens, they are going to be coming to the conclusion that they are lovable and that they deserve love. Another thing that I'm noticing here as well is that in all of these oracles that do show an animal or a person, their eyes are closed. And so I do think that there's a lot of things that the heart person is going to show the village person, because I do think that the village person has been looking through the same eyes their entire life. And I think that the heart person is going to come in and be like, oh yeah, you might have thought life was one way, but let me show you what's behind this door. Like, let me show you this, let me show you that. And I think that these two are really going to be vulnerable and open with one another in ways that they haven't been in the past. And I also think that these two are really going to complement each other so well in terms of their intelligence, in terms of how they both view the world, because it's like there's a good balance of like practicality, but also like keen wit and like a good eye for detail. And I feel like these two are just going to find the camaraderie with each other that they could never find with other people, because they were always like, it's almost like there was an energetic blockage of some kind until these two found each other, until these two met each other, where they were like, oh my gosh, like I finally feel seen for who I am for the first time. It is quite possible though that when these two meet, they may not immediately know that there's something deeper there, because this rat does talk about first impressions and how like first impressions can often be wrong. And it may be the case too that the rat's like family or things like that may have incorrect impressions of the heart/crow person when they first meet them. But I think that the strength of this connection is going to be something that transcends any initial judgments, transcends how other people view the connection or view each of you. And it's like, it's not going to matter what the outside world thinks once you two are together, because the amount of emotional nurturing and support that you both get within this connection, and also the freedom that you both have to find yourselves and thrive outside of the connection and still feel comfortable in it anyway, is so strong that like, yeah, this is a solid ass connection. That's really all I can say. So I'm gonna finish this part off by getting some attribute cards. So these may resonate, they may not. If you can flip-flop them if they need to be, but don't let these take away from the reading. Only use them as like additions, like for extra confirmation. So what attributes does the heart person have, Spirit, or some of the heart people have that we want to be aware of? So, okay, yeah, we have Violet, so I'm burping. We have Crown, Royalty, Compassionate, Sensitive. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody who has a very deep like crown chakra connection. Like I think that they're very naturally connected to spirit. They're naturally connected to their heart. This is a really beautiful energy. They may have a purple aura. We also have Plaid, so independent, laid back, masculine, and cozy. And we also have Wood with olive skin, athletic, great health, green eyes. And finally, we have the year of the horse. So that would be the years of 2014, 2002, 1990, 1978, 1966, 1954, 1942, 1930, I don't think I need to go back that far. Oh, and on the back of the deck, we have Pisces. So this person could also have Pisces placements, romantic, vulnerable, artistic, escapist. And they could not have Pisces placements, but still have those attributes. Okay, so what about the village / rat person, please, Spirit? We have water, so wavy hair, dreamy and artistic, larger eyes, wide hips. So they could also be a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. It doesn't have to be their sun sign. It could be really any of them. We also have air, so they could also be an air sign, which would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But we have light or ash hair, light toned skin, pale eyes, minimalist. We also have the year of the ox, so 2009, 1997, 1985, 1973, 1961, 1949, and so on and so forth. Okay, we also have the year of the dragon, so 2012, 2000, 1988, 1976, 1964, and then on the back of the deck we have Africa. So this person could be from Africa, or they could have African ancestry. Obviously there are way more countries in Africa than these few, but on here we have Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana, Egypt, Uganda, Morocco. I just heard Niger, and I heard Mozambique. Hopefully I said that correctly, but there could definitely be way more. But are there any attributes that these two will share? Spirit, any shared attributes between these two? Okay, so you both could have South American ancestry once again, or be from South America. Once again, there are way more countries in South America than these few, but we have Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru, Chile, Colombia. Oh, and we also have Europe, so United Kingdom, France. Y'all get it. They're continents, okay? You could be from those continents or have ancestry from those continents. We also have Taurus energy, humble, practical, focused, and patient. And we also have rainbow, hopeful, unique, colorful, pride. So this could also be an LGBTQIA plus relationship as well. Oh, and on the back of the deck, we have indigo. So third eye, wise, spiritual, gentle. And I definitely think that when it comes to this connection, your spiritual abilities are definitely going to be heightened. This could be a spiritual connection of some kind, but I'm not going to say for sure, because even if it's not a spiritual connection, it's still valid. Like, all connections are valid, all relationships are valid. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the tarot now. And I think I'm gonna leave these guys here and take the rest with me. So, all right, you guys picked Tarot and Wonderland. And I will say, while I am shuffling, there will be an extended to this reading, which will be linked below. And in the extended, we are going to be looking at the 18 plus physical connection between the two of you. And we are also going to be looking from your person's perspective, why they love you, why they fell in love with you, like why you're their person, why they wanted to be in a relationship with you. It's essentially just going to be like everything that this person does or everything that this person will like adore about you. And we'll get saucy with the 18 plus connection and see what that is like between the two of you. So let me give these one more good shuffle. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of let Spirit flow through me and see what Spirit wants y'all to know about this. So Spirit, what does pile 1 need to know about their next or current significant relationship? What can you tell us about it? Okay, we have the Magician. We have the 3 of Pentacles. This may start as like friends first. 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's almost like you may have to wait. Like maybe if you guys like work. Oh, and I noticed that there's a crow in here too. We also have the 9 of Swords. I also just heard divine timing. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the 8 of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have Death. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense actually. Okay, and let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have Protected. We have clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, trust. We have sacral portal, creativity, intimacy, inhibition. We also have the throat chakra with will, expression, assertiveness, self-control, direction. We also have wisdom, psychic, intuition, truth. We have portal, infinite mind, awakening consciousness, and we have the sun in eclipse. This is really beautiful energy, if I'm being honest. I definitely think that Spirit is wanting to talk a little bit about how this relationship will come together, because I do think that on both ends it's going to require some patience and a little bit of hard work. And I think a lot of the hard work has to do with not necessarily external things, but more so internal confidence and belief in self. The biggest thing that I'm seeing here is that one or both of you will have to walk away from some difficult emotional experiences from your past. Now, these could involve this person, or they may not involve this person at all. I do feel like the crow person, because I just noticed this crow here, like kind of looking over at the rat person. I do feel like the crow person will be waiting on the rat in some circumstances. Like, I feel like the crow person will be either, the first thing I heard when the magician came out is that like the crow person may be manifesting this relationship, and this relationship is the result of a manifestation. But I do think as well that there's kind of a deeper like energy to this, where I don't feel like the crow person manifested their partner out of thin air. I feel like it's more so that they felt the energy at the time that they were meant to manifest this person, even though they were kind of coming anyway. It's kind of like a twofold, where like this crow person was manifesting it, but it's like they were also in alignment with it at the time that they were meant to they were in alignment with manifesting that and wanting to manifest that. I don't know. It's part of Spirit's plan, essentially, is what they're trying to say. But this connection is definitely going to be one that is not boring at all. It's going to be deeply transformative for the both of you. And it's going to bring about a lot of much needed change, especially with the sun in eclipse here and death being here. We have Scorpio energy, so Scorpio season could be significant. But what I think is really going to be the biggest thing between the two of you is like, there may be much needed energies that want to come into your life that neither of you are able to receive before you're in this relationship, because you don't have the confidence to kind of face those things. And I think you and this person are really going to give each other the confidence to not only follow your dreams, but to do more than you thought was possible. I definitely think that the rat person is going to go through some sort of spiritual awakening when it comes to being with the crow person in that relationship. I also think that you both are going to be incredibly protective over one another. And I think that this connection will be protected by Spirit before you're in it and once you're in it. I do think that there may be some circumstances where you both kind of need to like walk away from things once you're in the relationship. Like, you may not be involved with anything or anyone else, like obviously you wouldn't be if you're in a relationship, but I do think that there will be times where old things will resurface and you both will kind of be that pillar for one another to lean on when you need somebody to help you get through those times. Like, you both are not going to be judgmental of one another. You both are going to be very understanding. And honestly, it kind of freaks me out how similar these two cards are. I definitely think that like this relationship is a portal for a new life. Like, you both, this is definitely serious and long term. And I think that while every couple has its challenges, I really think for you guys, the biggest thing is going to be like voicing your worries and your fears, because I do think that you both struggle with anxiety and at times maybe the type to hold things back or hold things in order to keep the peace or out of fear. But I definitely think that this relationship is going to progress once it is like established as a romantic relationship. I think it's going to progress very steadily and very slowly. It's literally like slow and steady wins the race with this turtle being here. I also think that you both are going to experience a physical connection unlike anyone that you've had before with anyone else. If you have been with anyone else, I mean, if this is the first person you've been with, then yeah, it will be different like anything you've ever had before. But I feel like there's a lot of wisdom to be gained from this connection, and it's like you two will not be the same people once you enter this relationship, because there's just so much change on the horizon. And I feel like if you're not in a relationship with this person yet, or you don't even know who this person is, I feel like Spirit is saying that the seeds for this connection have already been planted, and it just kind of takes some patience and some confidence that what you have is meant for you and it will come for you. I do think that there's almost a past life energy here with the Death card being here, where maybe you and this person, like, there will be like a deep sense of familiarity, but it almost might be kind of like uncomfortable or awkward to talk about. You could meet this person in your workplace or in like a professional setting if it's not a workplace. But I do think that you and this person will start off like as friends, or will start off as like casual before it progresses into something more. I do think as well, before you are in this connection, you both are going to be like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if this person feels the same way about me. Like I feel like you'll probably overanalyze every single move, every single word, every single like thing that this person says, and you might at times like have some sleepless nights or have a lot of dreams about this person. You may have stress dreams about this person where like bad things happen in the dream, and you might worry that that's like an omen, but I feel like Spirit is saying that those are not omens. Those are just your stress like manifesting into something. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot this. The Magician is indicative of high-level soulmates, so this could definitely be a soulmate connection, but I feel like it's one that can't manifest until there's a lot of change in both of your lives. And it's like, just when you think like you finally settled down and there's no more change to be had, it's like, boom, that's when this relationship is coming. And I definitely think as well, you both are just going to be like freaked out by this connection, not from each other, but like from the universal signs that you're going to get once you're in it. And one thing that I think is really adorable is that you guys are really going to fight for one another, in the sense that you're not going to tolerate anyone being disrespectful towards you. Your person is not going to tolerate anyone being disrespectful. You're not going to tolerate anyone being disrespectful towards them. I literally just heard like off with their head. Like, somebody might look at your person wrong and you'll be like, oh really, like you want to fight? Like I know you wouldn't do that literally, but you might, like, once you walk away, you might be like, man, like I wanted to fight that person, like I can't believe that they looked at you that way. Like I do feel like there's this really sweet aspect where you both are like truly ride or dies, and not in a problematic way, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you're truly there for one another without it being detrimental to the other. It is quite possible as well that this connection, in order to happen, or once you're already in it, like may involve moving to a different place, and that may be something kind of difficult, especially if for one or both of you it's like your hometown or the place that you feel most connected to. But I do think that it's going to bring about a lot of blessings. And if you are single and moving now, I do think that Spirit is kind of setting you up for this. The biggest thing when I was saying earlier was that I do feel like that this connection requires two courageous hearts. And, you know, tiger's eye could be a great stone to wear or to have on you. Or blue tiger's eye. I'm not wearing it right now, but it's a cool stone too. I think that it's going to require courage on both of your parts in order to align, because it's like you both have to be unafraid to do things differently. Because one thing's for sure is that this connection is different from anything you've ever experienced before. And I also think that after this connection is established, the changes that you're going to be going through are going to just be so insane. Like a lot of psychic development. You both are going to have a lot of like deja vu. You're gonna find that like you can hear this person's thoughts, or you like know what this person is thinking without saying it. You may have dreams together where you like wake up and express the fact that you both had the same dream. And I also see here that you both will be feeling more confident in your creativity. So you may be inspired to create together, or if you're creatives on your own time, this relationship may inspire you both to be more creative in whatever it is that you do. And I also think that this relationship is going to bring about a lot of confidence in the both of you, where it's like, you know that this person has your back. And so it's like, you feel brave enough to say what you think, and you don't care what people who like aren't really a true part of your life think or have to say. It's like, the people who truly matter are the only ones that you really will care about, like their opinion, and vice versa. I also think that you may, here's the thing. I was about to say that I think you'll see this person coming, but I don't think you will. You may know who this person is, or you may see signs, but you won't know that these signs are connected to them, is the vibe that I'm getting. But I do think that once you and this person are together, or maybe not together in like the most official sense, but like have met each other, I do think that you both are going to have a lot more like trust in the visions that you're having. You might be seeing things that you've seen in your past and just being like, holy crap, like how did that happen? You both are going to really trust in yourselves more once this relationship comes about. And I think as a result, you're going to trust the intuitive things that you both receive as well. This is a really, really beautiful energy. And I think also there's just so much potential to be had here. And like, I don't even want to say potential for what, because it's up to you guys. Like, straight up, it's up to you guys. The desert could be like a significant place or area. We did have Africa earlier, so the Sahara Desert. I think there's more than one desert in Africa, though. Anyone who knows geography, you can comment the deserts. I'm more about desserts than deserts, if you know what I'm saying. But I do think that maybe there will be quite a bit of time before you meet this person, or like there'll be quite a bit of time healing before you and this person come together in a relationship. And I think that's just because you both almost need to kind of find your own directions, or your meeting is dependent on you both taking your own directions and finding yourselves that way. There's definitely a lot of divine energy to this, where it's like you don't even really need to worry about it. You both will feel like you cultivated this completely on your own, but there will definitely be divine support behind it. But they still want to give you credit for the way you go about cultivating this and things like that. I also think that you both are going to be incredibly protective over one another, and I think like the conversations that you have between the two of you are just going to hit so much harder. I also think you both are going to give each other the confidence and the encouragement needed to go after goals that maybe you struggle to do alone. Like, I feel like for example, maybe if one of you was going on a specific diet, like this person may do it with you to help keep you motivated. Like, I feel like you both are really a team here. And a team where you both really like trust each other and trust one another's like vision of the future. Like, and I think what's interesting is that there may be dreams that you have now, or dreams that you had in the past, that after you meet this person, you may realize that they were never things that you truly wanted. They were just things that your ego wanted, or things that you thought you wanted because you didn't know anything different yet. I definitely think in terms of your physical connection, you both are going to be really attracted to each other. Like, I'm hearing my type, I think it's by Sweetie in my head. So I do think that this person is going to be your type, and vice versa. It may not be like entirely like a physical type, but I do think that it will be like everything that you've ever wanted in a person. Like, and I think vice versa. And I think that there's going to be parts of each other where you never thought that that's even something that you would want. And then it's like, after you meet them, it's like, oh, how could I want anything else? It's like, you're going to see so much clearly once you're in a relationship with this person, or once you know who this person is, and you're going to understand why things in your past didn't work out the way you thought they would. But the beautiful thing is that for the both of you, the possibilities of this connection are literally endless. Like, it's going to be a real fresh start where you both have the opportunity to cultivate so much, and it's like, you both are so powerful on your own, and you may not see your own power, and that's almost why it's so important that you two are together, because it's your power, it's your connection with one another that's really going to show you how powerful you truly are, and that you can trust that the other person will have your back, and that if the other person sees this power, then it must be there. Like, this is such a solid connection where, like, nobody can hold. I'm so sorry, I need to drink water. Still getting over this cold. I'm so sorry for being gross. You and this person are going to be, well, see, here's the thing. You guys can be gross around each other, and it's not going to turn either of you off. Like, you both are going to be so comfortable with one another, to a point where, like, maybe outside people might be, like, a little bit shocked at how comfortable you are with one another, but it's, like, not gonna be a big deal to you. Like, this is gonna be somebody, like, that you experience intimacy with, and I don't mean it just in, like, a physical way, but, like, true intimacy that you've never experienced on this level before. And I think what's so beautiful too is that just this relationship is going to give you a passion for life again. Not that you don't have a passion for life on your own, but it's like this person and the experiences that you have with them are going to just reinvigorate that passion, reignite that passion, and remind you why all the battles that you fought in the past have been worth it, because it's brought you to where you are now. And I also think one really beautiful thing as well is that you both are going to be really patient with each other. You're going to be really patient with the things that you don't understand about one another, or the things that may take time to kind of like integrate. Like, maybe your schedules are different, or maybe you have very different ways of communicating or seeing the world. I also just heard that there will be like a healthy balance of chores here, or you may like go to their place and like help them with chores, or vice versa. I do think that there's an acts of service element to the both of you that's really, really beautiful. And I think more so than anything, like, this is just gonna be a ride or die type of person, where you're gonna be like, you're not gonna be able to imagine life without them after you're with them. And that doesn't mean that you'll be with them forever, things like that. That's up to you guys. But what I mean is that, like, it's gonna be hard for you to remember a time without them in it, because you're just you feel so connected to them, and you're gonna learn so much and grow so much. Like, I feel like this is a true relationship where, like, no matter how old you are, it's like you're kind of going from a naive person to like a true rational, wise person that isn't very reactive anymore, that doesn't worry about like what random people think of them, that isn't bothered by the small things. It's like this person is like a puzzle piece, and for them, you, like, where it's almost like spirit has been building the puzzle around you both, and it's like once all those pieces are in place, it's like they're gonna put you two in there, and then you're gonna see the full picture, and you're just gonna be like, wow, like, spirit really had my back even when I didn't trust in them, and like spirit was really encouraging me all along. I just wasn't seeing the signs. And I think that this connection is just going to be a really powerful experience for you and this person, where you just realize how much the universe truly loves the both of you and has been conspiring for this connection to happen. And also, you're going to be giving credit to yourselves, because you wouldn't have gotten there if you both hadn't put in the work to get there, if you hadn't worked on your pieces of the puzzle, so to speak. So I am going to go ahead now and pull some surrender cards for some advice, just to see, whether you're in this connection or not. I feel like these surrender cards always have really good advice. And I feel like in terms of advice, you don't really need much advice. Like, you're doing this all on your own. And if you're already in this connection, you did it all on your own. But I guess I will ask for the people that are already in this relationship, if you do want to comment and just give some hope to the people who are not, that this is possible and that it can happen, at least if it resonates, that would be pretty cool. But Spirit, what does pile 1 need to surrender when it comes to manifesting this connection, or when it comes to being in this connection, or just in general? This doesn't even have to be about. Surrender to rest and sleep, to prevent burnout, slow down. Honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your body, mind, and spirit. We also have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So that could be a sign for those of you who are wondering, like, should you, like, if you're not in this relationship yet, Spirit may be saying this person will come to you, so there's no need to worry about that. We also have surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see clearly and make the best decisions. We also have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. And on the back of the deck, which is so beautiful, we have surrender to success. You are ready to receive abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities, which I literally think is what this connection is. So I am going to go ahead and finish this reading off by pulling a few tea leaf oracle cards just to see what wants to come out. These could be synchronicities, these could be messages. Sometimes they resonate, sometimes they don't. So just kind of take them with a grain of salt. But the biggest reason I wanted to use them is I wanted to see what signs and syncs may be particularly connected to your connection. So Spirit, what do you want to finish off pile 1 with? What do they need to know about this connection? What signs and syncs? Okay, so we have wreath, a sorrow over a loss. So yeah, I do think that it's like there is going to be an element where you both are maybe going to need to like get over something that you lost or grieve before you're able to be open to this. But also with the wreath, it was making me think of like winter or Christmas time, so that could be significant as well. We also have a month coming out, so the month of June seems to be significant. But also when I just said June, it like took me to the Handmaid's Tale, so like that could be significant in some way. June has Gemini and Cancer placements in it, so those could be significant as well. This could be a time that you're meeting this person, or a time that you are getting into this relationship, or it could be just a significant time if you're already in this relationship. Maybe you're going on a vacation of some kind. Oh, okay, so we also have Lion, time to act. We have Peacock, beware of great pride. And we have Boot, increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Okay, now I'm gonna finish off with these guys. Okay, so we also have November. So let's see, what's in November? Scorpio and Sagittarius placements could be significant. We also have Scissors, disappointment in some affair. So yeah, maybe there will be some disappointment in something else, or there might be people that you have to cut loose in order for this to happen. But let's see, are there any? Okay, that's good enough. We also have Pig, beware of greed, and Boat, money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. The Pig automatically made me think of Spirited Away, so that could be a significant movie, or just like Studio Ghibli in general could be significant. But on the back of this deck, we have Success, and on the back of this deck, we have Kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. So I would take the messages with a grain of salt, and I would just really focus on the symbolism and the time frames that are out here, because I think those are going to be more helpful than anything. I feel like Spirit is asking you to trust in your success, but also be humble, and stay open to signs that maybe you haven't considered before. But pile 1, I am going to leave your reading here, and I'm going to take it over to the extended. Okay, maybe Spirit's plugging the extended because this jug just came out and said lighthearted, carefree time. As a reminder, we are going to be looking at the physical connection and why this person, what this person loves about you, why they adore you, things like that. So if you want to check out the extended, that will be linked below. But if you are leaving me here, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and this channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can like this video. Liking the video really, really helps me. You can check out my merch, which will be linked below, as well as my social media. Though do be aware, I have tons of scammers pretending to be me, especially on Instagram. So if it's not linked below, it's not mine. I only have one account and I do not offer personal readings. So thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards and for letting me be a part of this energy. This reading was so beautiful and I'm so glad I got to do it. I really hope that this brought you some clarity or some peace. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the Chrysler heart, we're just gonna go with that, then this is going to be your reading all about your next or current significant relationship. So I am going to move the tarot off to the side for now, but what we are going to start with is looking at the energy of this connection once you are in a relationship with this person. So you should be able to find your energy and theirs if you're already in this relationship. If you're already in a relationship and it doesn't sound like you're in your person's energy, then I would say this is not your pile. But for those of you who are asking about a future relationship, you may not recognize one of the energies. You may see yourself in both of the energies. That's absolutely okay, and that's usually just indicative of mirroring. But if you can't find yourself at all and you're not in a relationship, it is a possibility that it's a future energy, but it's more likely that it's probably not yours. But I do also want to say that if you don't like the energy here, you don't have to claim it. I'm just a pair of talking heads on the internet. This is just a reading, but let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. So I want to start with the connecting energy between you and this person once you are in this relationship. And we have commitment. The frequency of commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. So this is pretty straightforward. I definitely think this clearly will be a significant relationship for you and this person because it will be very committed, and I think that this is going to be a connection where maybe one or both of you, commitment isn't something that you're too comfortable with. Maybe you both have a fear of commitment or a fear of being in committed relationships. We'll just have to see, but I'm gonna go ahead and lay out the energies now. So for person A, we have Eros, we have the woodpecker. There's so many jokes you can make about that, but the 18+ reading will be in the extended. Okay, we also have number 40, I am passionate, and we have confusion. I am confusion. Why is it not Arkansas? Okay, I shouldn't be referencing vines this early in. Okay, so for person B, we have the healer, we have the bee, we have I deserve respect, and we have control. So what I want to start off by talking about is where these two were before you both got into a relationship. I will say I'm probably going to mix up tenses like present tense and future tense, so hopefully this doesn't get too confusing. Hopefully you are not confusion. But one thing that I can see here is that this connection is one that may not be the most linear in terms of how it comes about. Like there's definitely going to be fluctuations in the energy of this connection before it even reaches commitment, but these two are definitely coming out of kind of difficult cycles before they are in this relationship, and I think that the residual energies of that will kind of impact the both of you once you're actually in the relationship. Starting with the Eros person, I definitely feel like they are somebody who I get impulsivity like right off the bat, and also somebody who has definitely a lot of desire for the healer person, a lot of desire for their energy in their life. I definitely think that the Eros person is more simple, not in like a simpleton sort of way or like that they're like lack intelligence or something, nothing like that. Actually, I think if anything, the Eros person is incredibly intelligent, but they may overthink quite a lot. But what I'm seeing here is that I think that the Eros person has learned to find simplicity when it comes to human connection, because complications within a connection can mean pain and hurt and anguish. And I think for the Eros person, they do have kind of a more casual, more playery type energy, but I don't know if it's necessarily that overt. This could also be like a serial monogamist sort of energy. I do feel like the Eros person has a very intense need for stimuli, just like in general. Like I feel like they may be the type of person to kind of push limits in more of like a daredevil-y sort of way, or in a way where maybe like they're really adventurous when it comes to the types of food they eat, or the places they like to travel to, or the activities that they like to do. With the I am passionate card being here, they could have Scorpio energy involved, but it's almost like this Eros person kind of has a work hard, play hard mentality, and I don't think that they're very comfortable with feeling challenged at this stage in their life, especially before they're coming into this relationship. So I definitely think that the healer person is going to be challenging for the Eros person, because they're going to experience a different energy around the healer person. And I think it's confusion because this Eros person may want commitment. Well, they will want commitment. They will want something deeper. And I think that's definitely going to confuse them because they're not used to that. Like, they have a very just like determined way of being where once they make a decision, that's it. And I feel like they could easily turn their back on things, easily walk away from things. And I feel like the healer person is somebody that's not easy to walk away from. I do feel like there is possibility for this connection to have like a false start, or to, like I said, take a little bit of time to reach a committed state. And I mainly feel like that's because both of these parties have like residual issues, like I said earlier, that they're working out. And for the Eros person, I definitely think that they may have felt confusion in the past about people before, but they've always had the ability to kind of detach themselves from the confusion. It's like whenever they've gotten themselves into circumstances and entanglements, if you will, they're really good at kind of severing them and then pretending like they never happened. I won't say this is the healthiest trait, but it is how this person kind of goes about things. But the healer is different in the sense that there's something about the energy between these two that the Eros person picks up on that they just can't let go of. It's almost like, it's like, what's the best way to describe this? I kind of want to call it like a puzzle, but a puzzle is not like the right thing. It's like let's say you solved a mystery, right? And this Eros person is like a detective and they solved a mystery and they feel like they've gotten to the bottom to it, but then there's a part of them that's just like, yeah, but I don't think that's truly it. Like, I feel like there's something deeper. I feel like there's something more. It's almost like the Eros person may want to shut this connection down or shut what's going on here down. And it's like there's something within them that just will not allow them to. It's like they have to keep pecking at this energy and trying to understand what it actually is. I feel like both of these two are like really complicated in their own ways. But for the Eros person, I don't think they like dissecting their own complexity. And whereas the healer person is kind of all about that. We'll get into the healer person in a second, but I definitely think that this connection is very transformative for the Eros person even before the connection happens, because the Eros person has to face a lot of energies that they typically run away from or push away when it comes to the healer person. There's something magnetic about the healer person that draws them in to the point where they almost feel compelled to face these energies that they may have avoided in the past. I will say that the Eros person is someone incredibly driven, and they have a very focused perspective on whatever it is that they need to be doing. Like, they may be incredibly focused on their work. They may be incredibly focused on someone they're pursuing. I do feel this kind of energy where they kind of follow their passion, they follow their desires, and I do think a lot of their passion has to do around what they do for work or what they're trying to do for work. But I feel like this is somebody who is just passionate in all senses. We do have I'm passionate here, and Eros talks about desire and passion. So I do feel like this Eros person can kind of almost be seduced by their senses. And when that happens, it's harder for their logical brain to kind of get through to them and like remind them of things. I feel like this Eros person has definitely gotten themselves into trouble before because their physical body seems to override, or their physical senses seem to override what their logical brain may be telling them. And I definitely think that a lot of that they will be experiencing before they even meet the healer. But when it comes to the healer person, they feel incredibly drawn to the healer person, and I think that really scares them. Also, the fact that they have to be facing a lot of energies that maybe they're not necessarily fond of facing, but it's like their logical brain can't talk them out of this one. And even though it's like, here's what's it. Okay, the Eros person is complicated. So is the healer, but it's like after the Eros person gets what they desire, then their logical brain kicks in, and then they're like, oh, okay, I was just feeling drawn to them. I was just feeling lust, or I was feeling this, or I was feeling that. But when it comes to the healer person, okay, that's what I was trying to say. When it comes to the healer person, the energy, the feelings, and the things that are going through the Eros person's mind, even after they achieve some sort of like fix, in the sense that like maybe they're around the healer person, or maybe they are intimate with the healer person, or maybe they're like with the healer person, it's like that desire for the healer person doesn't go away. Like there's no part where their logical brain comes in and says like, oh yeah, this was just another fling, or this was just this or that. It's something deeper, and I feel like that really confuses the Eros person because they've never experienced something like that before. I feel like they always have the ability to sever anything that they feel like goes too far, gets too deep, because even though the Eros person is being shown as like scorpionic energy that is very deep and transformative, I don't really feel like they feel very comfortable allowing people to see that about themselves. I think that they only show people what they want them to see. And honestly, I feel like the Eros person can be very loud, in the sense, maybe literally, like they could have like a booming voice, or like a loud laugh, or something like that, but I feel like their energy is just loud. Like you can almost feel them from like a building away. They do have an incredibly powerful energy, and they're driven by their passion. So I feel like the healer feels dangerous in the sense that the Eros person maybe doesn't necessarily know how to like, they feel like they need to block themselves off from the healer at times because they're afraid of getting hurt due to past experiences. Even though the healer is very different, it's like they feel like they can't trust themselves when they feel deep feelings, because I feel like when that's happened in the past, they have gotten burned. And so it's been much easier for them to look at life and experience life from a much lighthearted point of view, and kind of only humor connections when they are lighthearted. The second they start to get deeper and more serious, the Eros person is like, I'm out. Like I'm not really into that. But with the healer person, it's different. So let's talk about the healer person, because similarly to the Eros person, the healer person has a lot of complexity to them. But the difference between the Eros person and the healer person is that the healer person has been kind of dedicated to their own personal transformations. They've been dedicated to transcending their ego and the triggers that lie within them, and the energies that lie within them that maybe make them reactive or make them act in ways that are not true to them. I definitely think that the healer person is kind of a total sweetheart, but they can definitely, for lack of a better term, sting if they need to. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with in their own way. What's that, like, something like a butterfly, sting like a bee? That just came through my head, but I don't even know the full quote. So if someone wants to comment that, I think it was a boxer that said it. Is it Muhammad Ali? I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But maybe boxing is like significant in some sort of way. And I actually just was it Muhammad Ali? I don't know if it was Muhammad Ali, but I know there is a boxer that got an Olympic gold medal and he threw it into the Ohio River. I think it was out of protest. I don't remember the full story, but Spirit was just showing me that, and I really kind of took it to be a sign that the healer person has incredibly strong morals and does not value materialistic things or does not value things in the physical realm the same way they value genuine connection, the same way they value discovering themselves more, the same way they value genuine experiences. I definitely think that the healer person sticks to their morals and is very passionate about doing so. I think that they're very headstrong about what they believe in. But I think when it comes to intimate relationships, the healer has had to quite literally do a lot of healing. With the control card being here, I do feel like there is an aspect of them where they may be very restrained when it comes to expressing how they feel or expressing themselves in connections, because I think just like the Eros person, they are very afraid of being hurt. But also I feel like the healer has had experiences in the past where they've been in very controlling relationships, and I think that they have healed a lot, where one, I love to see this card, like, I deserve respect, because I think the healer has been on a big journey of understanding their value, understanding their worth, and recognizing that, like, just because someone says that they love you, like, doesn't mean that their actions equate to love. Like, you know, love isn't control, love isn't abuse, like things like that. And the healer may have gone through some very harrowing experiences, and they've come out of it. I mean, they're incredibly resilient, and what they've gone through is like no joke. But I definitely think that as a result, the healer is very guarded and very like blocked off, in the sense that they don't typically open themselves up to people anymore. But in the same way it is for the Eros person, the healer person can't help but almost make themselves a little bit vulnerable and want to open up a little bit, because they feel that same energetic draw that the Eros person does. I think in this case, though, I'm sorry, I'm still getting over my cold. The healer person may back away from this situation, or may try to avoid this situation because they can't control it. It may be very overwhelming to them that they can't control the situation. And I think being able to surrender and release control is something that they are learning, and something that they are learning how to release, especially once they're in this relationship. I definitely think that these two may have like triggers, like once they are both in a relationship together, there may be triggers that neither one speaks on, and it may create confusion within the connection. But what I want to talk about with the healer is the fact that they're just so resilient. I'm so impressed by the healer person, because even though they've done so much growth on their own, like, they're still not afraid to expose themselves to more growth. Honestly, like, in a lot of ways, the healer person really is just so brave and so courageous to like keep fighting, and also like being willing to open their heart again to somebody, even when they know it may not work out where I'm not saying it won't, I'm just saying, like, from their perspective, you know, when you're just thinking objectively about like the future, you never know what can happen. And I think that the healer person will not tolerate anything less than what is respectful, because they have recognized a lot of past behaviors, and maybe the way past partners treated them was very disrespectful, and they just won't put up with that anymore, which I think is really, really beautiful. And one thing that I really, really like is that in this I Am Passionate card, the colors really mirror the healer card. So I feel like the Eros person feels a lot of passion for the healer person. And not only that, it's like the healer person's ability to transform themselves has a really positive effect on the Eros person, because they realize it's possible to transform themselves as well. It's like the healer person also has really healthy boundaries, where like they recognize that they can't heal anyone for them. The only person they can heal is themselves. And I think one thing that they've realized too is that a lot of the reason why people may have been so controlling of them in the past is because they had a lot of light to shine. They had a lot of love to give. And I think that really intimidated darker people or more negative energies. And it's like the healer might want to present themselves as this sweet little bumblebee, but like really they're so much more powerful than that. And I think a lot of people could see that power and almost wanted to restrain it or hold it down, because if the healers saw their own power, then they may realize that they deserve better. And so I definitely feel like this healer will be on a very long commitment to self before this relationship happens. And when I say very long, like I think it will just be from the healer's eyes, it'll be a very long time. How long it actually is, I feel like is subjective. But I feel like for the Eros person, the healer's going to be really good for them, because like the healer is not going to put up with BS. And I think that this connection is going to be very transformative for the Eros person, because part of the confusion that they're going to have is the realization that there were a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of maybe like somewhat problematic takes that the Eros person had on love and relationships and things like that, and they're going to be forced to reconsider those. And I think that a lot of those takes maybe came from people that were really close to them, possibly family, very close friends, but they realized like, wow, maybe this wasn't right. And it's like the Eros person is having to consider for the first time that maybe they're wrong, and it's good for them. It's good for them. I do feel like the Eros person is not the type of person the healer would typically go for, typically like entertain, but like I said, it's that deeper energetic resonance where it's like neither party can really let go of the energy, because it's so infectious almost. But I definitely think if there's anything that these two have in common, I think they're both prosperous in their own ways. Like even if they're not prosperous once the relationship starts, I feel like there is the potential for a lot of prosperity to come from this connection. I also think there's a lot of inspiration to be had here. I feel like the Eros person is going to help the healer open up a lot and be more open to what life has to offer. I feel like the healer feels comfortable exploring their internal depths, but maybe less so the external world, because the external world is something that they can't really control. There's so many unknown variables, whereas I feel like the Eros person is all about that. Like they love kind of the adventure of life, but what maybe frightens and intimidates them is exploring those inner depths and those inner worlds. So these two kind of complement each other really well, because they can provide support in areas where both parties may lack, if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and get into the tarot now and see what you need to know about this connection. But I'm going to leave for a second because I am super stuffed up, so I'll be right back. So sorry about that. Man, I cannot believe it's taking me this long to get over this freaking cold. But you know what? That's fine. We pushed through. So you guys chose the Lightseer's Tarot. I'm really excited to see what we get in this part. I did want to mention while I was shuffling, though, that if this reading resonates and you're enjoying it, there will be an extended where we are going to look at the physical connection between the two of you, so it is 18 plus. And we are also going to be looking at, from your person's perspective, and by your person I just mean whoever this person is, why they want to be with you, why they adore you, why they love you. Basically just a hype session from their eyes. So if you don't even know them yet, like, you might find aspects of yourself that maybe you don't like now that you realize are actually part of the reason why you're so special to this person. But we're gonna go ahead and see now, Spirit, what does pile 2 need to know about their next or current significant relationship? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles. Wow, Spirit. We have the Emperor, Aries energy here. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the World. We have the Knight of Wands. We have Justice. And on the back of the deck, we have the Chariot, which I think I'm just gonna put it right here. This is actually really beautiful. Okay, so let's look at your oracles now. To start, we have Death. Don't worry, we'll get into that. We have challenges, blocks, fears, negativity, betrayal. We'll get into that as well. We have sensuality, feminine wisdom, passion. We have communication, self-expression, exchange, sharing, connection. We have galactic guidance, star family, assistance, cooperation. We have sacred purpose, eternal flame, ancestral legacy. And finally, we have the veil. Okay, so I might actually have to put the back of the deck energy over here. Hopefully it's still in the frame. But yeah, this is definitely, this connection is very necessary. What I will say is that this connection has the potential to be it all. But what I actually really like that's coming through here is that Spirit is not feeding me or you a fairy tale that's not realistic, because this actually is very realistic. You both are going into this relationship with insecurities and fears. With this challenges card and the Death card being here, I definitely think that a lot of your fears and a lot of blockages that maybe have held you and this person back in the past are going to have to be confronted. But the beautiful thing is that it is so going to happen so long as you both are committed to working through things. What I see here with the Queen of Swords is that compassionate and clear communication is going to be everything in this connection. And also maintaining the ability to remain in control over yourself and over your words and your actions. What I see here with the 3 of Pentacles is that this connection is really beautiful in the sense that it is going to require collaboration on both ends. Like, you both have to be willing to work together to overcome certain aspects. And one really beautiful thing here is that you and this person could be starseeds, or you could just be a little bit different. You could have been like the black sheep of your family or something like that. But what I'm really seeing here is that there is a deeper spiritual purpose for you and this person being together. So if you did have a false start with this person, or you did have experiences where maybe it took a while for you and this person to come together, or it will take a while for you and this person to come together, it all has significant reason for it. Because the biggest thing that I'm seeing, especially with the World card being here, is that when you two come together into a commitment, it's going to be a very significant time, because you both are closing out cycles in your life that were difficult but incredibly important for both of your healing. Like, there are cycles that are dependent, cycles that you had to complete, because if you didn't, they could hinder the success of this relationship. With the Emperor card being here, I think there is really strong potential for a lot of growth and success within this connection. I also think that both of you will feel very secure within it once healthy communication is established. With death and challenges, I feel like they fit so well together because you're going to be able to conquer any challenges that happen between you or any challenges that come your way because of this beautiful communication energy. With the veil being here, there is definitely you have friends on the other side, definitely conspiring towards bringing you two together and keeping this connection healthy and safe, especially with sacred purpose here, eternal flame, ancestral legacy. It is quite possible that you could have had past lives with this person. It is quite possible that you and this person, like, it's not your first rodeo being together. But from what I can see here is that this relationship is very much what you make of it. The more you're willing to communicate, the more you're willing to work things out, the better this relationship will be. And the beautiful thing too is that you even have like galactic guidance, guides that don't even resonate with Earth, Gaian energy, helping you as well. There is something very intangible about why you need to be together. Well, I guess it's not that you need to be together because you don't need to do anything, but you'll feel this need. You both will feel this need to be together. And I think it's because there is this almost unseen force that continues to either bring you back together or to push you together and to push you to fight through any challenges that you have. Maybe you both have this, like, before you get into this relationship, or if you're single now, you could have this mindset that, like, if it's not perfect, then it's wrong, which is, you know, totally not true. I see a helicopter right now, so I don't know if helicopters are significant to anyone, but you could be clearing out karmic cycles from past lives with this person. Like, you may be, I just heard, like, getting it right this time. And I feel like Spirit is saying this is something that you both deserve and that this will be a connection that is committed to one another. But there will be insecurities and fears that come up. And these can be handled in healthy ways or unhealthy ways. And it's entirely dependent on both of your actions. But the beautiful thing that I can see here is that even if you make mistakes or this person makes mistakes or you act in ways that you don't necessarily agree with, through compromise, forgiveness, and talking things out, those things can be transcended. In fact, I think that this has the potential to be a very, very, very happy relationship. And one where you realize that the energy you are in before you get into this connection was never meant to be your, like, final energy. I feel like there's a lack of awareness of, like, cycles and how you will cycle through different energies and experiences before you get into this connection. It's almost like this connection is feeding the part of yourself, or no, what is it? Like, this connection is filling in the blanks. It's filling in the blanks for certain aspects of your healing that you didn't understand before, or certain phenomena that you may have experienced, or certain past interactions with others that you didn't understand why they had to happen. It's like there's so much truth coming in with this connection that it's almost undeniable. I also think that you both are going to be incredibly protective of one another, and I feel like you're both going to empower one another to face those parts of yourself or the parts of the world that you just find very overwhelming or scary. If you want this and there is the possibility of having children, I see that being a potential thing here, especially with ancestral legacy. Like, your ancestors may be in cahoots to, like, bring you two together, because there is a lot that could benefit not only you both, but future generations. I just heard Libra season, but I think Aries season and Cancer season could also be significant as well. With the Chariot being here, I feel like Spirit is saying this connection will come into fruition until you both are balanced enough to be able to agree to move forward. It's almost like you have to kind of achieve balance within yourself, and same with this person, before you both are solid enough to have a commitment with one another. And I think one of the biggest things about this commitment is that, like, once you are committed, man, like, this connection is going to be really solid. And at times you and this person may not feel like it's solid, but that's only because you are addressing and transmuting energies within you both that need to be addressed. I feel like definitely your past connections and a lot of past relationships have been opportunities for you both to learn necessary lessons that you could bring into this connection, because I think there is a very high chance of one or both of you getting very triggered by the other and getting very like, miscommunication, I think, is actually something that could be a really big inhibitor of this connection, because one or both of you may assume what the other is thinking or feeling. You may act out. I feel like you both come from very different perspectives. So one of the biggest things is it's going to be, excuse me, I was burping, incredibly important for you both to release the need to assume, release the need to project what you think the person is feeling. It's going to be incredibly important for you both to explain your experiences and explain where you're coming from and why you think what you're thinking and why you believe what you believe. And I feel like while this connection may not always be like effortless, which, I mean, really, when is any connection entirely effortless? It will be worth it in the sense that you both are going to transmute and transcend so much. And I think that there's a lot of throat chakra healing to be done within this connection, where I feel like when you overcome a challenge or a blockage within this connection, it makes you two even closer, and it just makes the passion like that much more intense. Like, especially with the Knight of Wands here, there is a lot of passion, and I feel like this is going to be a connection where you both finally feel free enough to kind of release your inhibitions. And I'm hearing the song Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield in my head, and I really think that, like, this connection is bringing forth a lot of beautiful energies where you're not only learning lessons about how to be in a romantic connection with someone, but you're learning lessons on how to relate with others in general. You're learning lessons on how to be the person that you like, that you wish to like emulate, how to grow beyond pettiness, how to, not saying that you both are like super petty or something like that, but we all have petty tendencies, right? I feel like this connection is going to bring about a lot of maturation for the both of you. And I also think that feminine energy is going to be highlighted here in the sense that you both are going to be challenged to look at things from a more compassionate place, to look at things from a more objective place as well. I feel like both of you experience passion in the sense that, like, you both could take things really personally, and then you could get really impassioned about feeling wronged or feeling like there was an injustice done against you. And I feel like having this person by your side, and also having this person by your side that isn't going to play into any illusions that you may have and vice versa, is going to be really healthy for the both of you, because you're going to be able to recognize where maybe you've had wrong takes in the past, or where maybe you haven't seen things very clearly, and as a result, like, you're just going to be a healthier person all around. And I feel like this person for you is going to be really healing and really healthy for you, in the sense that, like, I feel like they're one of the few people besides yourself that could really be that source for you, that can kind of show you things about yourself that that like you won't take it to heart as much, in the sense of like, man, this is a hard energy to channel. I'm not gonna lie. Not because like you have a difficult energy. It's like, it's hard to find the right words. Like, let's say like a close friend called you out on an aspect of yourself, and you'd be like, listen, you don't have the, like, you don't know me like that. You don't have the right to like tell me that about myself, especially if you're the type of person, if you're like the healer person and you do a lot of inner work. I feel like this person is going to be one of the only people that's able to tell you about you. And I think that's because you guys are going to be so close. And I do think that this connection, there will be confusion in a sense of like, there may be times of uncertainty, there may be times of frustration, fear, blockages, but those are literally just pushing you both to overcome them. And like, you both are kind of becoming spiritual warriors from this connection. And I feel like the longer you are in this connection with this person, the more you are going to realize like why this connection has seemed to stand the test of time and stand any challenges that come your way. Like, you both are just, the things that bother you in the beginning of this relationship, a year from then, 2 years from then, 10 years from then, like, you both are just going to laugh at those things because you're going to realize like how much you both have grown as people. And I do feel like there's a primal side to both of you where you may be somewhat reactive, and it's like through your love and compassion for one another, you're going to be able to tame those parts of yourself, and also as a result be able to communicate your ideas, communicate what you're experiencing to others, not just this person. It's like you both are inspiring each other to become better humans in general, and it's like you really are like just ascending together in really beautiful ways. I also think there are lots of opportunities for travel here, lots of opportunities to have a lot of fun together, because I do think that this connection will be really fun. Like, I don't think that it's just gonna be all like challenges and like heavy lifting, but it will be part of it. And I think the reason why Spirit is bringing it up so much is because those sorts of challenges may be things that make you and this person run in the opposite direction, and the Spirit's saying, no, that's exactly why we're bringing you two together, is because you can't outrun these things anymore. You can't avoid these things anymore. And when you're with this person, you won't want to run away from them. You won't want to sweep them under the rug anymore, because this person in this relationship is just going to be way too important to the two of you to let those energies fester and become something that inhibits the both of you. Like, this relationship may take work, but it's going to be work that's worth it. And it's not work that's like, it's not like, because here's what I want to say. Sometimes when you talk about challenges and things like that, people will, come and be like, oh, this is just toxic. I don't want anything to do with that. And it's like, that's fine. You don't have to have anything to do with it. But toxicity isn't challenges. Toxicity isn't necessarily like arguing. Toxicity is a lot of things, but this would be toxic if, say for example, you had these problems but you weren't doing anything to solve them. You weren't communicating. You were maybe, like, for example, gaslighting the other, or ignoring the other, giving the other silent treatment. Like, you both are pushing each other to be better. You're not going head to head to battle one another. You guys are a team. And it's going to be very evident that you are a team. Like, you're going to face your challenges as like, okay, it's the challenge against the both of you. Like, you two are not fighting each other. You're fighting the challenge that's keeping you both from having a more intimate connection with the other and having a better connection. Because at the end of the day, the reason you two are together is because you both make each other very happy. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of love. And I feel like this person will just understand you in a way that not a lot of people can. And it's really rare to have people understand you, period. But to have somebody that understands you, that you have such a passionate connection with, that you feel so connected to, and that just lights you on fire, like, that just doesn't happen every day. And you both are going to recognize that this commitment is worth it. This is not something that either of you want to lose, and this is not something that either of you want to allow the pain of today to ruin the happiness of tomorrow, if that makes sense. I definitely think that a lot of the kinks of this connection, Spirit, we're keeping it PG, but I do think that the 18 plus connection, or the 18 plus portion of this reading in the extended, is going to be quite juicy. But I do think that there will be a part of this connection where it's like a lot of the challenges are worked out early on, but I do think that like there will be almost like cyclical things that happen, like an issue that you guys thought that you worked out like comes up again just to be fully dealt with, you know what I mean? But it's like, I feel like Spirit is telling you this because they don't want you to get lost in the energy of the moment and lose the bigger picture. Because I think the bigger picture is going to be incredibly important here. And I feel like the biggest uniting factor between the two of you is that you have the same vision, and you both may be uncertain about what that vision truly is. But the more you get to know each other, the more you grow together, the more your vision will become clear, and you'll realize that you've always had a unified vision all along, and it will be easier and easier to go towards it. I do think one thing that will be incredibly important is that parts of this relationship will need to be kept between the two of you, because I feel like there is the potential for interference in the sense that your friends might have opinions, your family might have opinions, and they may just not understand things from your perspective, from their perspective. And so I do think you guys are going to have to set boundaries with people and set boundaries with what you're willing to tell others. But I really do think that like this connection is worth it. It's worth it. And I'm hearing the Ed Sheeran song Perfect right now. And I don't know, with the veil and justice here, I definitely think that if marriage or something like that is something that you want, I feel like Spirit is saying that's definitely possible. But yeah, ultimately it's up to you guys. It's up to what you do. And I feel like one really beautiful thing is that I think the most intimate and romantic parts of your relationship are something that you're going to keep very sacred and very hidden from the outside world. And I feel like that's partially why that's not coming through here, because it's something that's so special to the both of you that it's like, I don't want the outside world knowing every single little detail about our connection. And so I feel like what the outside world will see about your connection is the fun, the adventure, the passion, and the camaraderie between the two of you, because you won't just be like lovers, like you will be friends. You will be very you'll have so much fun together. And I feel like there will be so many silly times and so many like, you'll have so many little inside jokes, and like, I just really feel like this is going to be someone who is not only on your team and has your back, but is willing to be honest with you about what they think. Like if they think that somebody in your life isn't healthy for you, they're going to be honest, but they're not going to control you. They're going to be like, listen, do what you want, but I feel like this person may not have your best interest at heart, and vice versa. It's like you can genuinely trust each other to be honest. You can trust each other to tell you like it is, and to not judge you because they're telling you like it is. Like when you're being honest with one another, you know it doesn't come from a place of judgment or shame. It comes from a place of love, because you both want the best for one another, and you both want to be the best for one another. And I feel like this is a connection where neither of you are coasting or carrying all the weight. This is a very balanced connection where you both are working on yourselves and taking accountability for your own happiness, and also like taking accountability for your role in the relationship. You're not projecting what the other person is doing, and like projecting their flaws or things like that. Like you both will hold one another accountable, but also hold yourselves accountable. And I think that a lot of fears and a lot of blockages that you have going into this connection are ones that are going to be healed and transmuted once you're in it, because you were always kind of meant to. So honestly, I think this connection is actually really, really beautiful, and I have no choice but to stand. Oh my God, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot to do this. So I did this for the other pile like before, but I guess I was too distracted by my damn stuffy nose. But I was gonna pull attributes for each counterpart. So I'm gonna do that now, and we're just gonna do it on top. So let me, obviously, or not obviously, but naturally, I'm not able to pick things up with my nails. Okay. God, okay. Alrighty. So, Spirit. Oh, and I did want to say as well, when it comes to the attributes, do not let these take away from the reading if it's resonating. Just take it as extra confirmation. Do not take it as a sign that you're wrong about what you're feeling. So, what attributes might the Eros person have? Okay, so we have Leo energy. Fierce, unapologetic, opinionated, strong. We have Teal. Objective, shy, supportive, trustworthy. That I love. You know what I just heard? I heard Ashniko like laughing and then going, I'm shy. What's that song? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Stupid Boy, Think That I Need Him. Like, I don't know. But I definitely feel like this person has like multiple sides to them, and I feel like they will probably show their shyer side like around the healer person. Like I feel like towards others they may have more of that like Leo energy, even if they don't have Leo placements. What else, Spirit? We have the year of the rat, so they could be born in any of these years: 1996, 1984, 1972, 1960, so on and so forth. What else, Spirit? We also have Capricorn energy. Hardworking, ambitious, disciplined, methodical. And on the back of the deck, we have the year of the dog, so they could have been born in, oh my gosh, I'm getting stuffed up again. 2006, 1994, 1982, 1970, 1958. You get it? Okay, what about the healer, Spirit? We have Gemini, witty, entertaining, persuasive, versatile. We also have beige, conservative, neutral, dependable, basic. There's nothing wrong with being basic. I'm pretty damn basic myself. We also have Sagittarius, adventurous, philosophical, brave, honest. And we have Cancer energy, caring, generous, poetic, and tender. And on the back of the deck, we have Rainbow with hopeful, unique, colorful, pride. So one or both of you could be a part of the LGBTQIA community. Okay, so I guess that wanted to come out for the both of you. We have North America, so you guys could be from the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, Panama. Obviously, that's not all of the countries, but you could be from the North American continent. Are there any other attributes they might have in common, Spirit? We have Scorpio, so there we go. Intense, dramatic, dominant, and loyal. I think this is like more than anything describing like how the connection will be between the two of you. Like you might have some dramatic times, but like I feel like you guys almost like that. But we also have Pisces, romantic, vulnerable, artistic, and escapist. And on the back of the deck, we have stripes with attention, caution, rebel, respected. And oh my gosh, I love how similar these two cards are. So I definitely think that this is something where you're going to like proceed with caution, but it's like, I don't know. I really like this energy. I really like this connection. You might feel like it's not for you. And if it is, like, you don't have to accept it. But I definitely think that like, you know, this is a connection where it's like, it's worth it. It's going to force you both to really not change, but to let go of the parts of yourself that inhibit you from being the truest version of yourself, and same for them. Okay, so I'm going to pull some advice for you now. This may have to do with this connection, or it may not. We'll just see. But Spirit, what does pile 2 need to surrender at this time? Surrender to Spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. We also have surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. We also have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from the heart, you will be heard throughout the universe and answers and support will arrive. We also have surrender your ego, cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility can further your goals. And we also have surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. And finally, I'm gonna pull you a couple of tea leaf cards just to see if there's any like signs or syncs related to this connection. You can kind of take the bottom messages with a grain of salt, but I like to see if there's any like symbols or syncs that you may need to know about. So finishing off this reading, Spirit, is there anything pile 2 needs to know about? Okay, so we have firecracker with excitement. I definitely think that is very indicative of this connection. Anything else? We have archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. We also have scissors, disappointment in some affair. Let me pull one more, because we still have a whole other, okay, I guess Spirit said 2 more. So we have harp, great happiness, that's beautiful. And we have dogs, getting together with friends. And on the back of this deck, we have the owl, good advice from a wise person. Oh, I wonder who that is. couldn't possibly be me, right? I'm just kidding. I dropped one on the floor and I feel like it's meant for you. Oh, if I can. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Y'all are really having to deal with my nails in this one. Okay, so we have that. Take care. Enemies are working against you. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think you're protected from all that noise. Let's see what else. We have lobster, financial pinch. So maybe those are things you guys are working out beforehand. We also have bird flying, news is on its way. Oh, so you may hear something about like somebody that you've had disagreements with in the past. Like they may be getting their comeuppance. Ooh, we have dog far away. A distant friend is thinking of you. So if you're in separation with this person, I feel like that's a sign that they are thinking of you. And on the back of the deck, we have apple, temptation will test you. So I definitely think that Spirit is going to be like, the lessons do not end with this connection, or lessons do not end with the beginning of this being a relationship. I definitely think you have lessons to learn before it comes in. But I think that's all I have for this reading. If you want to take it over to the extended, feel free. But if you're leaving me here, which is absolutely fine, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this reading resonated. Definitely feel free to let me know down below in the comments how it resonated, or like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can watch my ads. So thank you so much for the people that do. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in the channel in other ways, you can do the things I just mentioned, or check out my merch or my social media, which my social media is linked down below. Do be aware that there are tons of scammers pretending to be me, and my only social media links are down below, and I do not offer personal readings. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me channel and being a part of your energy. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose the Carnelian heart, I just have to say this is like one of my favorite stones ever. And I love that it looks like there's 2 little owl eyes in it. So I don't know if owls are a sync for you. But if you chose that and the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, this is going to be your reading. But first, we are going to do an energy check to look at the energy of this connection once you are in a relationship with them. So if you are already in a relationship with someone, if this doesn't sound like your connection, this is likely not your pile. But if you are currently not in a relationship, you may find that an energy feels more like a future you, but not necessarily like the current you. You may also find, no matter what your status is, that you find yourself in both piles, that's usually just indicative of mirroring, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't find yourself at all, that's likely a sign that it's not your pile. And if you don't like what you're hearing, you don't have to claim it or accept it. You can pick a different pile or do something else with your life. Send in your love anyway. So let's go ahead and start by looking at the overall energy of the connection in its most authentic light. And we have authenticity. So with number 10, the energy of authenticity supports our choice to be genuine and truthful in all aspects of our lives, with others as well as with ourselves. So this is a really, really beautiful energy to start out with. I think anybody here who wants a genuine relationship with somebody really hopes that the connection is authentic and that they can be authentic with their person. So I definitely feel like this is a real and genuine connection where you and this person are really going to have a lot of trust with one another, and feel free to be your silly, wild selves. But we're gonna go ahead and look at both you and your person. It'll be up to you to decide who you and your person is. I'm just doing this in a person A, person B format, but starting with person A, we have the King. And I hear like the Cowardly Lion in my head right now, saying like if I were a king, but I can't do the voice, so I'm not even gonna try. We also have the Mouse, we have I Am a Dreamer, and we have Self-Worth. And then for person B, we have the Bridge, Catfish. Don't worry, that's not what you're thinking. We have I Embrace Change, and we have Commitment. So this is really, really beautiful energy, actually. And I think I'm going to start with the King person. So because the Cowardly Lion came out, that automatically made me think of Leo energy. I also kind of see all the fire signs here, but the King also correlates with the Emperor, and Aries correlates with the Emperor. So fire signs can be significant: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, as well as Pisces here with I Am a Dreamer, but they do not have to have those placements at all. I definitely feel like this is a person who, leading up to this relationship and probably still during this relationship, is finding their confidence. I definitely think they are more assured in themselves because they're showing up as the King. But I do think that there is an element to this person where they don't see the magnitude of how great they are. I feel like with this Mouse energy being here, they might all honestly sell themselves short or play themselves down. They could be a leader in some sort of way. The Mouse also does talk about like power in numbers and things like that. So this King could, for example, have followers. They could have a social media following of some kind. They could be at like the top of whatever it is that they're doing, or they could just be the king of their own world, you know, like Jack Dawson energy, you know, standing on the front of the Titanic. But like that obviously didn't end well, so we're not talking about all of that. Just like this person is learning how to recognize themselves as royalty in their own life. That royalty is not something that literally needs to be stated. Everybody is royal in their own way. We are all royal. Like, we are all kings, queens, or gender neutral monarchs out here. So you best be celebrating yourselves. But I definitely think that this King person is really learning how to find themselves and find the confidence to like back up their actions with their words, in the sense that like I feel like they do play themselves down, they do play their worth down. And I feel like this King person has been spending a lot of time making their dreams become a reality. And I feel like in this process of working hard on themselves and working hard on what they want to achieve, they haven't really stopped to look back at all the progress they've made. It kind of seems like mentally they're still the same person they were, not entirely, but to a degree, they're still the same person they were when they started this journey of following their dreams. And as a result, they don't really realize how far they've come and how much they've grown. But the beautiful thing is definitely once they are in this relationship, and I think leading up to this relationship, they will be on this journey of self-worth. And I am getting this message right now about natural hair, like feeling beautiful about, or like feeling proud of their natural hair or lack thereof, like owning who they are, owning where they come from, owning like them, all aspects of them, not just the parts of them that they view as more societally acceptable or that they view as aspects that they like. They're starting to see themselves as a whole package, like all that in a bag of chips, which I love. I also think as well, they are probably more social than the bridge person. It could honestly, I do see like elements where there may be mirroring here, but what I'm really seeing is that the king person definitely has made a commitment to surround themselves with people that uplift them, that make them feel good. And the more that the king works on their own self-esteem, the more that they realize that they have always been deserving of better. They've always been deserving of more. And I honestly kind of love how similar not only the authenticity card is to the back of the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, but also how like the colors of the king match so well, and like this carnelian. I definitely think that this pile, no matter which side you end up resonating with, there's a lot about confidence here and like owning who you are. And I think that that's just a really beautiful energy to be in. I feel like the king is finally enjoying the person that they see when they look at themselves in the mirror, and they're recognizing that they're worth so much more than they thought. And I think that they are learning to not play things so small anymore. Like they, even though they've been out here like achieving things and doing amazing things, it's like they can dream so much harder and do so much more. And so I feel like they're really in the process right now of having the confidence to go even further with their dreams. This could be someone who sleeps a lot or is just a very creative, like sensitive person. They may hide that sensitivity behind some sort of confident energy. Like I don't think they necessarily show everyone their sensitivity, but one thing I'm noticing is that we have 44 and we have 26, and in numerology those both reduce to 8. So the number 8 aligns with abundance. So I definitely think that the king person could be doing pretty well for themselves, but 8 is also the month of August. So like I said, Leo or Virgo energy could be significant. But I kind of want to scoot over and look at the bridge person now, because I feel like their energy is a lot more interesting. One energy that I'm getting right away from the bridge is Libra energy and kind of air energy in general, if I'm being honest. I really feel like the bridge person is somebody who, they have a very quick mind. And I feel like there's somebody who can be kind of wishy-washy in the sense that like, they go with the flow, but I also feel like there's somebody who may not necessarily speak their truth or stand up for what they believe in because like they just don't find being honest about certain things worth it. I feel like this is somebody who maybe avoids conflict or just doesn't really like to ruffle any feathers. But I also see that this bridge person is somebody who's really good at relating to a lot of different types of people. And I also feel like once they're in this relationship, not once, but like going into it and while they're in it, there is going to be a period where this bridge person is quite literally evolving and leaving parts of them behind and embracing new parts of themselves, but they're kind of in this halfway point. I feel like the king person, once these two are in a relationship, is going to be kind of more established and confident in who they are, whereas the bridge person, I feel like, is still finding themselves, still kind of figuring out who they are and what they're about. I definitely think that the bridge person has been the type of person to like be almost so like go with the flow that they don't assert their will very much. I feel like as well they've almost been afraid to kind of put their will and put their intentions out into the universe because they're afraid of what might happen as a result. I feel like they would rather let life happen to them than go out and make life, I just heard make life their bitch, but like make life, which that kind of seems more of like the king's energy, because I do think the king at times, this is what's interesting as well, I'm even trying to talk about the bridge, and the king's energy is kind of like seeping into the bridge's side of things, and I feel like that's because the king person just has such a strong energy. And I feel like this can be infectious in the sense that the king person really will kind of not force, but their energy will encourage and be a catalyst for the bridge person to also embrace their uniqueness, embrace who they are. And I definitely think that there's a lot of change coming for this bridge person in this connection. One of the biggest being commitment here. With number 5 being here as well, I am kind of getting a bit of Taurus energy or like Hierophant energy there. But with the commitment card being here, I really feel like this bridge person maybe is somebody who was more comfortable with like connections where there wasn't really like an established thing going on. Like I feel like the bridge person is somebody who kind of just likes to see where things go, and they may not be really like the type to commit very often. I think commitment for them is something that they're embracing, because non-committal energy may be something that they felt very comfortable in, because it's like if they're not committing to things, then they can always make a different move or almost swim in a different direction if something doesn't work out. But with the king person, it's like they recognize that this is like the king is such a catch and somebody that they really do see something more with, and so they're embracing this idea that maybe they can find freedom within commitment, that maybe there's a lot to be explored here, and maybe this is something worth quite literally committing to. So with the commitment card being here and there also being rings here, it is quite possible that this connection could be something that ascends to a very permanent level of commitment if that's something that you both want. It absolutely doesn't have to be though. But I do think that the bridge person is in this process of transformation, and a lot of their attributes are still being discovered. I feel like this relationship is an opportunity for the bridge person to kind of actually discover who they truly are, because the bridge person may be so malleable to outside energies that it's almost hard to know what their true self is. And the beautiful thing about being with the king person is that the king person has a defined sense of self. Maybe not entirely, but much more so than the bridge person does. And so the bridge person is going to be able to identify what attributes are the king's. And like the king is not going to expect the bridge person to be anything other than who they are. And so the bridge person has this beautiful opportunity to explore their own energy and explore what is truly authentic to them. I feel like the bridge person has turned their back on a lot of different opportunities, but one thing that I noticed is that it almost looks like this figure has like snake skin on their back, and so it almost feels like this bridge person is shedding a lot of skin. And one thing I just heard is becoming more comfortable with their identity. The bridge person may have an androgynous look to them, or may just have like a very good balance of feminine and masculine energy. They could, one thing I will get about these two as well is that even if either of them are not overtly spiritual or into those sorts of things, both people here are very connected to their own inner guidance and connected to the universe without really realizing it. It's like they may at times like fight against what the universe is trying to lead them towards, but ultimately they both parties here are good at surrendering to what the universe is trying to guide them to. It's almost like neither of them feel like they need to be fully in control of their lives, because they trust that the universe will bring them what they need and bring them to what they're supposed to be. And I think one thing that the king really likes about the bridge is the fact that they are so, I had a couple words just come to mind: diverse, like multi-talented, and sporadic in like how they express themselves and who they are. I feel like the bridge person has many layers to them, and they which the king does as well, but I feel like the king is very much more like if you notice, the bridge has a lot more rainbowy colors, whereas the king is like kind of this spectrum of the same colors. It's like the king kind of has an established identity that they show the world, and while they have their more hidden sentimental sides, like especially like their Piscean energy, if they have any, which they don't need to have Piscean placements to have Piscean energy. I mean, they can have 12th house placements, something like that. The bridge person, the king person learns so much about the bridge person just through seeing the bridge person interact with life. And the king is an excellent mirror to reflect what the bridge person is discovering about themselves. I feel like these two work really well because neither of them are asking the other to be anything other than they are. And both parties here are showing up as, you know, supportive, authentic people who genuinely just want to be connected to each other and want to see where this commitment can go. I feel like this connection is very freeing for the both of them, because maybe the king person, for example, has felt like they needed to portray a certain persona, or maybe their persona is so strong that people don't usually see underneath that. I feel like the bridge person is really good at picking up on like the complexities of people, because the bridge person is so finely tuned to so many different energies. I feel like the king's outward persona is just so believable that it's almost hard for a lot of people who don't really read into things to believe anything other than what the king puts out there. I also, when I was saying that, I heard Leo rising for the king, so they could have a Leo rising or something like that. But the bridge person, I definitely think that they are in this process of self-discovery still, and maybe they have been kind of afraid to make concrete changes, but the connection with this king is allowing the bridge person to feel more confident in change, to feel more confident in trying something different and trying something new. I feel like both parties feel really secure in this connection, and I feel like both parties are really, really enjoying what they're learning about themselves through this process, what they're learning about with one another. And there's a lot of comfort and security in this connection because both parties can trust the other to be truthful and be authentic. I feel like there's a lot of goofiness as well. And I feel like there's kind of an enviable quality to this connection where the people around them may be like, it may be one of those connections where at first it might not make much sense, or like people wouldn't necessarily put these two together, but once they are together, it's like, oh wow, like how did we miss that? Like this connection makes so much sense. And yeah, I really think that this is a beautiful, beautiful connection. And I'm about to sneeze. I don't know if I actually will, but whenever I'm about to sneeze, I know that that means that something is blessed. So this connection is blessed, but I'm gonna stop myself from sneezing because it's uncomfortable. But I am going to finish this portion off by pulling some attribute cards for each person. So don't take these as like concrete. They're only here for extra confirmation. Don't let them take away from the energies. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, take these as extra confirmation, but if they don't resonate, don't look at that as a sign that it's not for you. So Spirit, what attributes does the king have? So we have Black, powerful, mysterious, intimidating, influential. We have Plaid, independent, laid back, masculine, cozy. We have Cancer, caring, generous, poetic, tender. We have Leo, fierce, unapologetic, opinionated, strong. And we have Pink, rosy cheeks, loving, playful, sweet. And on the back of the deck, we have Yellow, solar plexus, cheerful, confident, blonde. So any of those can resonate. When it comes to the colors, I usually think of them as either like auras or like maybe just, I have synesthesia, so like I kind of see people with colors. So if you have that, maybe you do something like that, but maybe they wear these colors, maybe these are their favorite colors, or these are just attributes of theirs, but they do not have to have all of them. But they could be like born on like the Cancer Leo cusp, which would be like the end of July. but they certainly don't have to be. What about the bridge person, Spirit? What attributes might the bridge person have? So we have the year of the rabbit, so they could be born in 1999, 1987, 1975, 1963, 1951, so on and so forth. If you or they were born in 2011 and you're watching this when it comes out or a few years after, you don't need to be watching this reading with peace and love. Come back when you're older. And that's not as like a, you're young. I just mean like literally like you're young. Like focus on growing up first, please, with peace and love. You'll get there. You'll have your time. We also have Scorpio, intense, dramatic, dominant, loyal. We also have Libra. I knew there was Libra energy. Attentive, attractive, charming, and balanced. So we have rainbow, hopeful, unique, colorful, pride, and we have teal, objective, shy, supportive, and trustworthy. So this person, I love how similar these two cards are, but this person could be part of the LGBTQIA+ community. Both parties could, certainly don't have to be. But I do feel like with the bridge and like rainbow coming out, like this person could be in the process of like transitioning, or in the process of like transitioning from like their old self to like an identity that fits them better, and they may be in the process of like still discovering what that is. But on the back of the deck we have cashmere, status, feminine, fine, and weave. So those could be attributes there. If you want to switch them, that's absolutely fine, but I'll get a couple for like the both of you, just because I like these cards and I like to give y'all enough to feel like you found something for yourself. Okay, so we have green, which is beautiful. Heart, healer, harmony, wealth. So I definitely think that this could be a very prosperous connection. This is definitely a heart connection. Springtime could be significant. We also have Capricorn energy, hardworking, ambitious, disciplined, methodical. We also have the year of the dog, but like dogs could be significant as well as rabbits. But we have 2006, 1994, 1982, 1970. We also have the year of the goat, which should be 2003, 1991, 1979, 1967. And on the back of the deck, we have camo, hidden, protective, tough, outdoors. So you guys could be outdoorsy people. The military could have something of significance here. I also think there will be aspects of this connection where like you will kind of keep it hidden from the public eye, but I definitely think you both are very protective of one another. And I feel like you both are like tough people to read on the outside. So you're kind of a perfect match in that sense, because you both are like, even though there's a lot of differences between the two of you, at your core, like you kind of have the same values and the same like outward view towards life, I guess. But we're gonna clear these out and go ahead and get into the tarot portion of the reading and look more deeply at the relationship itself. I've kind of just been letting spirit come through and say whatever it is that they want to say. I did also want to mention, though, while I am moving these cards out of the way, that there is an extended for this reading if you are enjoying it and you want to see more. And in the extended, we are going to be looking at, from your person's perspective, whether you know them or not, what they love about you, why they chose to be in a relationship with you, things like that. It's essentially going to be a hype session from your person's perspective, and we're also going to be looking at the physical connection. So do be aware that the extended is 18 plus, and honestly all my extended should be 18 plus because I kind of fly off the handle with swear words and just being my real self, which if you think I'm my real self on here, man, check out the extended. You won't regret it. You get unhinged ASO. Yeah, these cards are hard to shuffle, but that's okay. So, all right. My hands look like this, so y'all's hands can look like that. Okay, Spirit, what does pile 3 need to know about this relationship What can you tell us about it? So we have the Morning. Oh my gosh, look at how similar those cards are. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have Judgment. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant. And one more, Spirit. We have the Universe, which is the World in this deck. And on the back of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. But it doesn't feel very significant, so I'm just going to kind of leave it off to the side. All right, so looking at oracles now, we have Aurora Borealis. I will try not to make too many Simpsons references, but it's going to happen, so just be aware of it. We have the Root Portal, Vitality, Stability, Survival, Fearful. We have Friendship, Support, Fun, Unity, Play. We have Truth. Well, we have Honesty, Truth, Transparency, Sincerity, Communication. One thing I will say that's really interesting so far in the 3 piles that I filmed, every single one so far has gotten a throat chakra card from this deck. So it sounds like a lot of throat chakra healing is happening for a lot of the collective. And we love to see people joining the communication army, the strongest army out there, except the Elicliners. We also have Liberation with Power, Fulfillment, Self-Attainment. We have Achievement, Effort plus Intention. And finally, we have Inclusion. So I'll put this back in here a little bit so we can still see it. So this is really, really beautiful energy. I love this so much, actually. And what I think is cool too, we were talking about the owls, the owl eyes, and now we have 2 owls down here. And we actually have a lot of figures with like pairs in them. What I really love about this connection, like just right off the bat, is that, or should I say right off the owl? That was a bad pun. This is not just one where it's like, this is not a connection where it's all for show. You know what I mean? If anything, I feel like you show the world a lot less than there really is. At your core with your relationship with this person, there's a friendship here, a really beautiful friendship where you both respect each other. You both respect. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm getting kind of mixed up in my channeling right now. So Spirit, can you synthesize this for me a little bit? One thing I did want to say is that, you know, sometimes you see in relationships where people get so comfortable with each other that they kind of start to be disrespectful towards one another because they, you know, may have like unresolved issues that they may need to talk about, or they may just get used to like saying unkind things or just being kind of disrespectful. Like they may take their presence, each other's presence, for granted. I feel like this will never happen in this relationship. I feel like you both will genuinely appreciate each other so much. And one thing that I really love here about this Inclusions card is it talks all about being your authentic self and embracing all aspects of a person, not just the favorable aspects that you may like, but, you know, the parts of each other that you may not necessarily be fond of. But there's a deep acceptance and a recognition that like even your flaws and your person's flaws are a part of what makes you you, and a part of like just your being. And so as a result, you both look at each other from a very realistic lens where it's like you don't depend or rely on the other to bring you fulfillment, to bring you what you think you need, or to be your happiness. There's a really healthy sense of independence here, and I think both parties have their own things going on. So like there's a healthy sense of independence, and I think both parties have their own separate projects that they care about, and I feel like that's part of what kind of keeps the attraction alive between these two, because it's like both parties are so impressed by each other, and like there's a constant reminder every single day of like, I just keep hearing like, how did I get so lucky? And I really feel like that is indicative of how even just like minute things between the two of you, you will like, you'll just have this like deep awareness of like they'll do the smallest thing for you and you'll just be like, holy shit, like I adore this person. Like, I don't know how I got so lucky with them. But I also think that this relationship is coming after a time. I just heard Dark Night of the Soul, so it could have been a Dark Night of the Soul for both of you or one of you. But with the Morning card being here, I feel like the start of this relationship is like the beginning of a new cycle and the beginning of a much happier one. It's like, I'm hearing the phrase like, it's always darkest before dawn. And I love how the name Dawn could be significant, female or male. D-A-W-N, but I love that this authenticity card almost looks like a sun, and it's got a beautiful mixture of like pinks and golds, and it just feels very regal, but also compassionate and really unconditionally loving. And I feel like this unconditional love isn't necessarily for each other, but it's for yourselves. And because you have it for yourselves, or at least maybe not all the time, you know, we all struggle to love ourselves at times. It's like, you both always individually redirect back to that energy, and so you're able to have that for one another. There's a lot of grace for each other as well, and a lot of forgiveness. And one really beautiful thing that I love here is that I really feel like this connection is something where like maybe neither of you ever thought it's something like that, this type of relationship is something that you would want, because I do see there's like a lot of tradition here. Like you may get into a relationship with this person in a very traditional way, like, you know, take things slow, start as friends, things like that. But I could definitely see this connection being something very serious. There's definitely a higher spiritual purpose to it. And the beautiful thing between the two of you is that like there's honesty, there's truth, transparency, sincerity, communication. And that's pretty much the same thing as like being authentic with one another. And it's like the fact that you both are so respectful towards one another and also are not afraid to be truthful with one another is just such a beautiful and healthy thing to have in a relationship. Excuse me, I'm getting stuffed up again. But there's a part of your connection that neither of you really understand, and you're not supposed to. With this Aurora Borealis card, there's this like deeper magic to this connection where as you uncover layers of this connection, you also uncover layers of yourselves. And there's a lot of universal synchronicities that will be kind of showing you guys like confirmations of like, yes, this is the right person that you're meant to be with at this time. Like, yes, it's just like confirming everything that you thought. And like, you may have dreams about this person before you meet them, or you or this person may have felt like relationships were too constricting and too like stifling. And I think what both of you are going to discover is that there's a lot of freedom and fulfillment within this relationship, because neither one of you is trying to control one another. Neither one of you is trying to one up the other or play against one another. And that may be something that you have experienced in your past connections. But in this one, it's like you guys are truly a team. And I think that that's also been kind of a theme in the relationships coming through here, is that there's a lot of teamwork energy, which I think is just so beautiful. And I feel like you guys are truly, you guys are besties. I love this. And there's a lot of security within this relationship. Like, you're not going to question how this person feels about you. Like, truthfully, you might not watch many tarot readings, at least on love topics, because this person's going to tell you exactly how they feel about you. You might still anyway, and I would love to still have you, but you know, you might just, there's not going to be a lot of questioning in terms of like where you and this person are at and what page you're on, because I feel like maybe both of you have dealt with people being like kind of shifty or hot and cold or not being truthful with you. And you're not going to worry about that in this connection because you both have dealt with that with other people. And so there's an extra emphasis on not being that for each other. I also think that your families are going to really love each other. So if you're worried about what this person's family is going to think of you, I think they are definitely going to embrace you, and vice versa. I also think this relationship is going to come about at the end of a massive transformation for the king person and in the middle of a massive transformation for the bridge person. But the beautiful thing is that there's going to be, I think what's actually really interesting is that the king and the bridge don't seem like they're ever going to be entirely on the same wavelength in the sense of where they're at in cycles. It's like one will be finishing a cycle while one will be in the middle of one. And so because you both will have these contrasting energies, you'll be able to be supportive of one another and have empathy for where the other is at and what it is that they're doing. And the really beautiful thing is like, you can't really use your partner as a crutch because, which like, maybe that's something that happened in the past, in past connections, but it's like your partner is there to support you, but they're not there to like fix your problems and vice versa. And it's like you both can't really take the pain away or take any challenges away, but you can be there to, you know, help them through it and support them and just be that support system that they need. And I think that that is just what's so beautiful about this connection, is because like there's still a lot of individual growth to be had. It's not like once you get into this connection or once you are in this connection that like the growth ends and it just stops. Like you're going to continue growing with this person, but there's going to be this beautiful energy that stays the same, where you can both rely on one another to tell you the truth. You both have fun together. You both prioritize like feeling good with one another and having fun. I definitely think there's a lot of attraction here, especially with the Ace of Wands, a lot of passion. And I think that there's like a little bit of kinky energy coming through, but we'll save that for the extended. I also think that there's a beautiful energy here where if one of you has a big dream, the other will be so supportive of them going after it. And neither one of you will ever give one another ultimatums of like, it's either me or your dreams. Like, no matter what, the two of you will always be each other's biggest cheerleader, and you will always be like just unwavering in terms of how you show up for one another. And this is a beautiful connection. Like it's hard to even put it into words, if I'm being honest, because a lot of this is unspoken, and it will be unspoken between the two of you. Even though we have this communication and honesty card here, I don't think that a lot of these things will need to be set as like expectations or anything like that. There'll be you know, like the genuine love and kindness between the two of you is just something that's just going to naturally be established. And one thing that I love as well is that you will never catch yourself or this person like tearing each other down. Like you're not going to be saying like, oh, you'll never be able to do that, or you'll never be able to achieve that. That's impossible. Like, even if you think the odds are against your person or against yourself, like neither of you are going to say anything destructive or anything like that. Like you both are very constructive towards one another. And I feel like you both are going to be very patient about working with each other, especially when maybe you're going through struggles. And I feel like this connection will bring you both a lot of security that you haven't had in life in general. And I don't mean this from a financial standpoint, but I mean like with the 10 and the 8 of Pentacles being here, I do think that you both will have pretty decent like security financially. But I feel like this is security on an emotional sense. Like I don't feel like either of you have ever felt emotionally secure in a relationship the way you will with this person in this relationship. And I also feel like you both will have goals that you want to achieve as a couple. Like, even though you do have your own separate lives, you're also like focused on having goals together. So like maybe you'll have like a couple's bucket list or something like that. Or maybe you'll both be really dedicated to like making sure the other person in your relationship feels heard, feels seen. It's like you both are going to put a lot of effort into this connection. You're never going to take this connection for granted. And if there is a time when you ever do, you'll quickly be reminded why you shouldn't. Because I also think, not to be shady to like other people's relationships, but you're going to look at other people's relationships, and I mean this in like in your personal lives, and be really grateful that you and your person have each other. I feel like you both have a wisdom beyond your years. And I feel like there's just this unspoken bond between the two of you where like you can kind of instinctually get one another without really having to say anything, but you can trust one another to speak up if they feel like you need to be heard or they need to be heard, vice versa. I also feel like with the Liberation card, you're going to give each other the confidence to really pursue things that maybe you felt like you couldn't do in the past. And I also feel like you'll find a lot of freedom in this security, and so will your person. And with the 10 of Pentacles being here as well, there's huge potential to create a legacy together and to have it all. Like with the universe, I feel like there's a sense of completion here. Not in like this person completes you, but a sense of completion in the sense of like you're no longer yearning for something that you can't put your finger on, if that makes sense. This is a really beautiful energy, and I feel like there will be a lot of opportunities to be creative together or to like adventure together. I also feel like you're going to encourage each other to be better people and to have better habits. I feel like you both might inspire one another to go on like a health journey or a fitness journey or just like a self-confidence journey. Even if you feel somewhat confident in yourself, I feel like you and your person are just going to want to be the best versions of yourself when you're with each other. And I also think with the 2 of Wands being on the back here, like you guys are going to make plans that you want to have together. And I feel like any plans that you make with this person, you will achieve them. I'm hearing specifically if you write them down or you put them on a vision board, like you guys should definitely make a vision board together or something like that, because anything that you do set your mind to, you will create. And it's like you both have the perfect balance of complementary energies and energies that are different, where like you could show up for one another in ways where the other may like not, where in areas where the other person may be deficient, and so that's going to be really helpful. Like one of you is going to like pickles and the other person is the person that always gives their pickle away. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be specifically that, but like there's going to be small things like that where this connection just works. But there's such a beauty to this connection, and to be honest, I'm having trouble like channeling the energy of this connection. And I feel like that's because partially there's an energetic barrier and energetic protection here where like maybe spirit doesn't want to give too much away if you're not in this connection yet, but for those who are in this connection, I feel like because it is something so sacred and protective to the both of you, like we had that camo energy out there, it's almost hard for even outside influences to kind of understand what's going on between the 2 of you. But this is a really solid connection, and one that can go all the way if that's something that you both want. And I think one of the beautiful things about the 2 of you is that you're never expecting the other to change. You're never expecting the other to be anything different than who they are. And the authenticity between the 2 of you is just something that, you know, a lot of other people should take notes, because it takes a lot of growth and a lot of honesty and self-reflection to be that authentic and be that real with each other. And so yeah, this is just a beautiful connection and very, very healthy. And while I feel like this is a connection where there may not be a lot of highs and lows. I think it's just going to be pretty consistent, and any issues that arise, it's like you both will talk about them maturely and move forward. Like there's not a combative energy here where you both like are at each other's throats. Like that's definitely not something that's happening at all. And yeah, I feel like this connection is just super healthy, and you'll be friends first, lovers second. And I think that, yeah, you both will be really, really, really happy with each other and with where this connection is headed. And it's like, one thing I will say is like, if you don't know who this person is, if you haven't met them yet, like once you meet them, you'll know. Like you'll know who this is. With the Judgment card being here, I feel like it's just gonna be so obvious that it's like you can't even miss it. So I am going to go ahead now and pull you, the viewer, some advice. This advice could be relevant to this connection. It may not be. I kind of just wanted to get some surrender cards because I feel like they're kind of the most useful advice cards I have. So let's just go ahead and see what comes out. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3 when it comes to life? And oh, what is hiding in there? Hello? Oh, we have the year of the rat coming out. So maybe someone was born in 96, 84, 72, 60, 48, so on and so forth. But Spirit, what advice do you have? Surrender the trauma. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, stay calm and don't contribute to the drama. Stay centered. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. And surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and be surrounded by positive people. So yeah, maybe you're involved. I mean, I'm not trying to be messy, but like maybe you're involved with someone else right now, or you're involved with just like toxic people that are not really supporting you, and Spirit might be saying, hey, it's time to let go of that. Surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and inhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to center. We also have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to simply be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So Spirit might be saying that this person will come to you if they haven't already. Obviously, take these as they resonate. Don't stress yourself out if something isn't. And on the back of the deck, we have surrender worry. Make a commitment to not lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. That is so beautiful. So I'm going to finish this reading off, at least the free portion of this reading, with some tea leaf oracle cards just to see if there's any random messages. I do say take the messages with a grain of salt, but I like to see if there's any synchronicities or any signs that could be relevant to your connection with this person. So what else might be relevant to pile 3's connection with this person they need to know about? We have claw, be careful, do not take risks. And we have dog, far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. We have key, successful outcome to your problems. And I think being honest is the successful outcome here. We also have mountain, major challenge to overcome. And on the back of the deck, we have March. And so we are in February right now. So change could be happening in March. You could be meeting this person in March. You could be getting into a relationship with them in March. If you're watching this when I upload it, March will be very soon. But Pisces and Aries energy could be significant as well. What else, Spirit? We have staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. We have broom, new home, new attitude. Maybe some of you are moving and maybe that's how you'll meet this person. Or maybe you'll just be cleaning up your place and you'll feel like a new person. We also have elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. We have Lion, time to act. And on the back of the deck, we have Jug, a lighthearted, carefree time. So I feel like, yeah, like some of these messages are kind of conflicting, but just take what resonates to you. Don't let the rest take from you. But pile 3, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me in my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out the extended, which will be linked down below. You can like this video if you haven't already. You can subscribe if you haven't, and click that little bell notification to be part of the notification squad. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can check out my social media, which will be linked below, though do be aware there are a lot of scammers pretending to be me. So just as a reminder, I don't offer personal readings, and I will not try to solicit a reading from you in your DMs. My only accounts are linked on my channel, and I only have one Instagram account. I also have merch, and I think that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me be a part of your energy and do this reading for you. I really hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the rose quartz heart and the pink tiger tarot, this is going to be your reading. And I just have to say, I've been very tired like all day today, even though I'm caffeinated out of the wazoo. And like I just opened myself up to your energy, and I already feel like a massive surge of energy. I'm like tired who, never heard of her. So welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna go ahead and start by looking at your connection with this person once you are in a relationship with them. I do want to mention, if you are already in a relationship and this reading doesn't sound like you and your person, I'd say this is not your pile. For those of you that are not currently in a relationship, you should be able to find yourself in at least one of the energies. No matter your status, you may find that the energies mirror, and that's absolutely okay. So if you see yourself in both piles, that's just what that's likely indicating, and that's totally fine. So we're going to start with the overall energy between you and this person. So to start, we have number 42, transformation. The energy of transformation supports our ability to gracefully flow through times of transition, allowing the old to make room for the new. And starting with person A, we have the prayer. I always, whenever this card comes out, I just hear living on a prayer. Is that by Bon Jovi? I could be wrong, but we also have mosquito. We have regret. And we have number 8, I am forgiving. And then for person B, we have the temple. We have Sasquatch. Don't be offended by these, by the way. I'll explain them. They're energies, not literal descriptions. We also have I am knowledge. And we have true love. Whew. Yeah, there's a lot of energy in this pile. This energy is kind of intense, I'm not gonna lie. But trust me, I'm grateful for the surge of energy because I needed it anyway. So let's talk about this, pile 4. I do want to say, if I'm explaining this and you're like, absolutely not, like, I don't want this, watch a different pile, or, you know, do something else with your life. Sending you love. You don't have to sit through something you don't want to listen to. But I will say, it's quite likely you know this person. If not, well, I mean, obviously, if you're in a relationship with them, you do. But if you're not in a relationship with them, it's quite likely that you do know who this person is, because there does seem to be history here. But it is quite possible that this could be a brand new connection. But what I'm seeing here is that for both of you, if it is a new connection, it's quite intense for being new, I guess is what I will say. The fact that we have transformation here, the energy of transformation, I already read it, sorry. there's definitely going to be a lot of change before these two even enter a relationship, but once they do, I think there is going to be a lot of powerful shifts in between these two that pertain to individual transformation, but also transformation through how these two see others, through how these two see each other, things like that. There's a deep, deep spiritual energy to this pile. And yeah, I guess I just have a hard time believing that this is something new, but it absolutely could be. Starting with the prayer person, I do believe that once they are in a relationship with the temple person, they're going to be spiritually awakened and on some sort of spiritual path. I will say, if you're not spiritual and your person is not spiritual, unless you guys go through some sort of spiritual awakening by the time you get into a connection, I don't know if this is your pilot, because like this just like oozes crown, third eye chakra energy. And starting with the prayer person, I definitely think that there is some sort of reckoning, not to be Papa John, but like there is some sort of reckoning that they've had with themselves and with the universe. Praying is really interesting in the sense that in order to actually pray, you have to humble yourself before something greater than yourself, at least to be authentically praying. And I feel like for the prayer person, I don't think that this is something that they are used to doing. It's something kind of new to them, and it's through their life experiences and quite likely experiences within this connection that have kind of humbled them in ways where they've had to really take a hard look at themselves, a hard look at how they have been living their life, and decide to change, decide to grow. I'm not gonna lie, at least on the prayer person's side, there's a lot of like self-hatred that I'm feeling that I don't think will necessarily be entirely diminished by the time the prayer and the temple are in a relationship together. But what I do see is that the prayer person is going to be already on that journey of learning to forgive themselves and learning to grow and evolve from their past self. The fact that we have the mosquito card here, I definitely think that the prayer person, the biggest vibe that I'm getting is that the prayer person may have dealt with addictions, but these addictions could be absolutely anything. But I feel like the prayer person was just constantly being drained, not only by their habits, but by maybe any afflictions they were dealing with, by people around them. It just seems like there was a lot of difficult things that the prayer person was going through and had been going through for quite a while. And I do think that this prayer person has been in some really low vibrational states. I really just want to avoid using the word toxic, even though it's probably what we could say. I'm sure both of these individuals, everybody can be toxic and everybody can have toxic traits, and that's something that, we as individuals have to take responsibility for and grow and evolve from, and awareness is the first step. I definitely feel like before these two are in a relationship, there will be awareness of, on the prayer person's end, of like toxicity or habits and behaviors that really are not serving them. I do feel like the prayer person hasn't always had the most clear understanding of themselves, of the temple person, and also of what they truly want out of life. And I feel like the prayer person maybe holds a lot of regret for how they've treated the temple person in the past and how they've treated themselves as well. I feel like the regret energy that I'm feeling here goes so far beyond this relationship. I feel like it definitely plays, like, I definitely think this regret energy applies to this relationship, otherwise it wouldn't be coming up. But I think this prayer person just has a lot of regrets about the type of person that they were and who they associated with, who they hung around with, what they were doing and who they were. And I think the hardest part of this journey for them has been learning how to forgive themselves for the person that they were. This is a really tough energy because I do feel like there may have been a lot of rejection on the prayer person side towards the temple person, mainly because I think that the temple person was maybe in a higher vibrational state naturally. I'm not saying that like the temple person is like perfect or anything like that, but I do think that the temple person was at least in a much healthier state of being than the prayer person was. And I think that the temple person really served as a mirror for the prayer person, where unintentionally they were kind of showing the prayer person everything that was wrong about themselves, that the prayer person may have been neglecting or pretending like wasn't there. I do think the prayer person could have been dealing with some sort of sickness. This could have been a mental sickness, or like a legit sickness of some kind. They may have felt like they were unlovable because of this, or that they didn't deserve love, or that they didn't need that. I feel like the prayer person is not, I mean, maybe currently if you're not in a relationship with this person, this could be like legit current energy. I've had the intention of reading this like once you're in a relationship with them, but what I've been finding is that the energies have been so, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is. The energies have just been like, I've just been allowing them to come through. And even though I set like intentions for things to come out a certain way, they don't always come through that way. Because remember, when I'm channeling, it's coming through me, not from me. But I really think it's interesting how there is this like mixture of color in this pile. One thing that I notice is that I feel like one thing the prayer person regrets is not listening to what the temple person had to say. I definitely think the temple person is more spiritual by nature, or they've just been on a spiritual path for a lot longer than the prayer person has. This has heavy like divine counterpart energy, but I really don't want to like say that that is an absolute thing. But what I will say is that if that resonates for you, I would definitely take that, but like that does not have to be for everyone. But I do think that the prayer person is just really hard on themselves and honestly has a hard time facing a lot of things that they've done in their past. And I think that they've been really driven to mature and to change and to kind of eradicate what drains them and what aspects of themselves just like aren't healthy. I do feel like at times the prayer person could have been a bit of like an energy vampire, but what I do want to say is that when it comes to like energy vampires, like just because someone like is behaving like an energy vampire or is embodying those traits doesn't make them like a bad person. A lot of people just have a desire for energy, for validation, for connection, and it doesn't make them a bad person or anything like that. It's sometimes it's a person's natural state of being, and sometimes it comes from a place of need and a place of, you know, struggle, and that person just doesn't really know how to get what they need themselves, and so it's like they kind of subconsciously drain the energy of others in order to help themselves. But like it's not a conscious thing, and I think for the prayer person it hasn't been a conscious thing, but I don't think that they've also been very conscious of how maybe people around them in their past have drained them as well, if that makes sense. But moving over to the temple person, as soon as I said moving over to the temple person, that Christina Perry song, what's it called? The one that's like, I've died every day waiting for you. I definitely think that the temple person has always held love for the prayer person. They have fully recognized that the prayer person hasn't always been available, hasn't always maybe been the best to them, but when it comes to the temple person, they have a deeper spiritual awareness of this connection of why they're in it. And I almost feel called to say, like, when, like, this is a significant relationship and how committed it is, like, I feel like it will, because we are talking about committed relationships, so I do believe, like, if you're not in this, like, it will reach that state, and you'll know because you'll resonate with it. But I definitely think for a long time there was, like, maybe an energetic relationship between these two where you may not have seen each other, you may not have even communicated with one another, but, like, the presence of each other was always just kind of known. And I'm kind of mind blown by, like, the similarity of this regret card and the I am knowledge card. We have Sagittarius energy coming through with the I am knowledge card. But one thing that is kind of funny that was coming through, the I am knowledge card for some reason reminded me of what Machine Gun Kelly said to, like, Megan Fox or something the first time, where she was like, you smell like weed, and he was like, I am weed. I don't know why it, like, made me think of that. I'm not comparing this connection to theirs by any means. Like, I'm not, it's just that instance of him saying I am weed for some reason just, like, made me think of this I am knowledge card. But, like, I feel like these two mirror each other in ways where they don't even, like, realize it. Like, even the purple and, like, the sparkly colors, and it's like the temple person does clearly seem to be a few steps ahead of the prayer person, and that will still be the case once this connection is in a committed relationship. I feel like the temple person is going to have to, not have to, well, they don't have to do anything, but the temple person is going to be an excellent guide for the prayer person, in the sense that they're going to help the prayer person transmute really difficult energies, especially energies relating to guilt and shame, and empower the prayer person with knowledge that the temple person has already gained from their journey. And what I want to say about this Sasquatch card being here is that there's something so ethereal about the temple person. I almost called them the temper person. So maybe they have a bit of a temper or something like that. Or maybe it's through their own spiritual awareness that they've been able to overcome a lot of, like, issues with temper. But it's almost like the temple person wasn't real to the prayer person, or that, like, maybe seeing them was, like, kind of irregular. But nonetheless, the prayer person sees the temple person as somebody very, like, magical, and almost like, are they even real? Like, are my eyes deceiving me? Like, no, they're like, this can't be real. Like, there's something so ethereal and yet so grounded in reality about the temple person, that the prayer person just feels like it's too good to be true at times. Like, their true self is too good to be true. I think especially because the prayer person is used to being around people who drain them. I feel like for the temple person, before getting into a relationship with the prayer person, the energetic connection between these two could have definitely been something that somewhat drained the temple person's energy. And what I think is really interesting is we do, I'm not going to pick it up because of my nails, but we do have, like, this triangle here, or at least part of it. And I do feel like this is some form of energetic protection on the temple person's part. Like, they have learned how to protect their energy and not allow it to be drained. I feel like the temple person took the lessons from this connection before they were in a relationship with this person, and really sought to better themselves and to use these experiences that they've had, not only with a prayer person, but in general, to be the best version of themselves possible. I feel like the temple person really just lives a spiritual existence and will be well into their spiritual experience by the time they are in a relationship with a prayer person. And I feel like for the prayer person, they're really going to be like, I'm trying to find the best way to describe this. I get the vibe of the temple, like age-wise, the temple person may be like younger than the prayer person, but it's like the prayer person, okay, I get what's going on now. The prayer person is going to be even more humbled by their connection with the temple person, because even once they are in a relationship with the temple person, they're just gonna have deeper awareness for maybe how wrong they were about the temple person. And they're going to kind of realize like, wow, there really are people like this. And maybe my ego was trying to project this idea that nobody could be as amazing as the temple person is. Because here's the thing, the temple person, I feel like, has always had love for the prayer person before they even knew who the prayer person was. And I think that any turbulent times in this connection really drove the temple person deeper into themselves, deeper into their own spiritual awareness, deeper into their own spirituality. And I feel like they've come through a lot of lessons, transcended a lot of difficult energies and a lot of healing, because I definitely think that this connection has required a lot of healing on both parts. I just feel like for the temple person, they've kind of been the leader of that healing, even though it's not like they're necessarily being like, okay, prayer person, we're gonna heal. Like, it's just the temple person has been doing it on their own. And the prayer person, once they are in a connection with the temple person, they're going to be fully realizing the deeper spiritual purpose of them being together. And it's like the prayer person is going to have to continue to uncover layers of themselves that they don't like and parts of themselves that they're not proud of. And I think what's the hardest part of it is that the temple person is going to love them anyway through all of that, and recognize that the temple person did love them anyway, even though they may have set up boundaries, even though they may have removed themselves from the situation, even though they may have gone on their own path for some time. They've done it all out of love. Like the temple person has real, like, if you love something, let it go, and if it's meant for you, it'll come back energy. And I feel like for the prayer person, it's painful to be loved. It's painful to be treated with kindness and respect almost, because the prayer person is used to pain. They're used to punishment. They're used to ego games and pettiness, and maybe the temple person was used to that too at one point, but they've transcended and healed a lot of that, and they know how to, even when they get caught up in those energies, they know how to redirect themselves to their truth again. I feel like the temple person already has been through this process of transcendence and being humbled and finding their spiritual self, whereas the prayer person is in that process when these two get together. But the beautiful thing is that both parties are learning through each other, and are going to have an even greater awareness of themselves, a greater awareness of the deeper spiritual truths of life. And I think that there's going to be a lot of tears in this connection, in the sense of like, not in the sense of like causing each other a lot of pain once you're in a relationship, but I feel like there will be pain realized when these two realize like what the other has been going through, what the other might have done to one another, how things might have impacted them. There's just a lot of confusion before these two get together, and a lot of like uncertainty and fear. And it's like once these two finally are together, the awareness that they'll have that they didn't have before will bring about a lot of intense emotion, because there will be realizations of, you know, what the other was dealing with, and the deeper meanings behind what was happening, and the reasons why things had to happen the way they did. I mean, this is definitely a connection that is very much in Spirit's hands. But the temple person has always held love for the prayer person. And I feel like the temple person has had a greater awareness of like what behaviors aren't healthy, and so they've learned how to hold love for the prayer person from a distance, when the prayer person hasn't necessarily been healthy for the temple person to be around. But once they are in a connection, that stuff isn't going to fly anymore. Like Spirit isn't bringing these two together until there's enough transformation involved for both parties to be humbled and open and show up authentically. But this is really beautiful because I think that transformation, and a lot of transformation, is happening before these two even get into a connection. So you best believe that once they are in a connection, the transformations are just going to go into hyperdrive. My right ear is ringing right now too. And so I really do feel like there's going to be a lot of spiritual awareness, a lot of spiritual awakenings. And I feel like the process of these two coming together requires a lot of shedding of old layers, of old habits, of old ways of believing. And it's only once enough transformation has happened that these two can come together in an authentic way that spirit will truly bring them together. But nonetheless, the love is there. Like, the love is there. But I feel like for the prayer person, before the connection happens, the love is less apparent because it's hidden under, well, actually, I mean, truthfully, like, the love is not really going to be apparent on either side before these two get together, because the temple person is going to be loving from a distance, and the prayer person is going to be dealing with so many chaotic energies that it's hard to even pinpoint what they're feeling or the love that they may feel deep down. Like, the prayer person kind of gives me an energy where maybe they are very uncomfortable with feeling things in general. And so it's almost like they kind of were able to shut down from or dissociate from their emotional body. And so it's like neither party could really pick up on the truth of what each other was thinking or feeling. But I do feel like the temple person has a lot of patience towards the prayer person, recognizes a deeper spiritual significance, and is going to keep their head down and keep learning and keep growing while they live their life and while the prayer person gets their ish figured out. But I feel like what's really beautiful is that even though the temple person may be like further along on their spiritual journey, once these two are in a relationship, the temple person is not going to be coming from this standpoint where they think that they're more advanced than the prayer person, that they see themselves above the prayer person. And I feel like the prayer person is going to know that the temple person forgives them and vice versa, but I feel like the prayer person may have a hard time forgiving themselves. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that will need to be healed once these two come together is for this prayer person to learn to forgive themselves. And I feel like the support of the temple person is going to help that. Very interesting energies. So we're going to go ahead and get into the tarot portion of this now. I'm hearing that song again, that Christina Perri song. I just feel like this is so intense, but beautiful in its own ways. But like, I will say, like, this definitely seems like a connection not for the faint of heart, in the sense that, like, not everyone is going to want a connection like this. Not everyone is going to. This just ain't for everyone. So like, if this doesn't feel like your pile, don't force yourself to sit through it. You know what I mean? And I also want to say too, like, love is not abuse. Any abusive behavior is not condoned. And if this sounds like somebody who has treated you in abusive ways, like, this is not the reading for you. And like, please seek help if that is something that you're experiencing or going through. There's no need to shame yourself or feel bad about that. I mean, it's a very unfortunate thing, but like, please seek help if that's the case. Like, you should not be looking at tarot readings about abusive people. It's just not, it's not healthy. But anyway, that disclaimer out of the way, I did also want to mention that if this reading resonates, there will be an extended where we are going to be looking at the 18 plus connection between the two of you, and we're also going to be looking at you from this person's eyes and seeing like what they love about you, why they wanted to be in a relationship with you. Obviously, if you're not in one yet, it's going to kind of be in future tense, but it's kind of meant to be a hype session for you and stuff. So if this resonates and you want to check that out, that will be linked below, but you're absolutely not required to. So let me give this one more good shuffle, and then we will get into the energies here. I gotta like breathe for a second. Oh my God, this is definitely a situation where the connection is out of both of your hands. Like, it humbles you both so much where you just have to like pray, because there's no controlling this situation. But Spirit, what do you want pile 4 to know about this relationship with their person? Clearly is very significant. We have the 7 of Swords, yeah. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the Lovers. Yeah, this is... Whew. We have the 10 of Cups. Yeah, wow, okay. Okay. We also have the 6 of Swords, the 8 of Wands. I guess I'm going to put that on top of the Temple. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and I'm going to put it over here. Yeah, wow, this is, I'm like, oh man, I forgot to do it again. Okay, I'm going to do it really quickly. For each pile, I've been getting like attribute cards for each person, just for like extra confirmation of like what of who this person might be for each of you, or like which side might be you. So I was supposed to do this originally in the energy check portion, but like I forgot, I'm sorry. But essentially just take these as extra confirmation. If things don't resonate, don't force them to. You don't have to take anything that doesn't resonate. It's like the same thing with zodiac signs. Like if the zodiac resonates, that's wonderful, but like all that matters is the energy resonates. You don't have to have the same like zodiac placements and stuff. Okay, so Spirit, what can you tell us about the prayer person? What attributes do they have? Okay, so they could have been born in the year of the rat. That'd be 96, 84, 72, 60. We also have the year of the horse, 2002, 1990, 1978, 1966. Can we get some stuff other than birth dates? But like rats and horses could be like significant animals or sinks. So this person could be from South America. Some of the countries included are Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru, Chile, Colombia. They don't have to be, they could have like South American ancestry, or they could be connected to South America. But yeah, unfortunately, because they only show like continents, like they don't feature all of the countries possible. But we also have teal, objective, shy, supportive, trustworthy. We also have the year of the goat, so 2003, 91, 79, 67. And on the back of the deck, we have camo, hidden, protective, tough, outdoors. So this person could be in the military, or they could just be very closed off. They could be very protective of themselves. They could have a very tough exterior. They could be very outdoorsy. Okay, what about the temple person, Spirit? What attributes might they have? Okay, so we have wood, olive skin, athletic, great health, green eyes. We have navy, so we have two like military energies here. Authority, duty, devoted, adaptable. We have the year of the ox, so 97, 85, 73, 61. We have stripes, attention, caution, rebel, respected. We have the year of the tiger, which it is the year of the tiger this year. And you guys chose the pink tiger tarot, so that's kind of iconic. We have 98, 86, 74, 62, 50. And we have Pisces energy, romantic, vulnerable, artistic, escapist. And on the back of the deck, we have the year of the pig. So 2007, 95, 83, 71, 59, 47. And I'll pull a few for both of you. And it's also okay to like flip-flop these as well. I pull these more so for your confirmation. They don't need to be like an exact science, but we have green here, heart, healer, harmony, wealth. So I do think there's a lot of potential for abundance and a lot of love here. We also have the year of the dog. Maybe dogs are just significant. You can also take the like the animals and the years as like significant animals. We also have Gemini, which is lover's energy as well. Witty, entertaining, persuasive, versatile. Yeah, I don't say this very often, but this kind of has some 20 energy to it. But this is a general reading, so only take that if you know for sure. We have rosy cheeks, loving, playful, sweet with the color pink. And on the back of the deck, we have red with root, passionate, energetic, sexy. And we also have Cancer energy, caring, generous, poetic, tender. I definitely think that you two will show each other when you finally like let your walls down with one another, because like this energy is really it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of sweetness between the two of you. I guess that's what I will say. Okay, so let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have third eye chakra. We have manifestation, prosperity, fortune, pure intentions. And we have exploration, boldness, unknown, limitless. I'm obsessed with how similar those look. We also have sacred gratitude, reverent appreciation, prayer. We have divine feminine, magnetic, receptive power. We have offering. And we have ritual. So, yeah, okay. I need a sip of water before we get into this, because holy schmoly. Okay. Whew. So, this connection is definitely not linear, and the way this connection comes together will definitely not happen in a linear fashion. Like, if you haven't met this person yet, I'm not trying to freak you out, but like I definitely wouldn't expect things to be like smooth sailing initially. There's a lot of hidden things here. And I feel like with the Seven of Swords coming out immediately, like looks can be deceiving. And I think that from an outsider's perspective, there may be things that like you subconsciously feel and this person subconsciously feels where you feel something deeper, but on the surface it looks to be something maybe more deceptive or different. I definitely feel like the energy of this connection is elusive, and there's a lot of miscommunications, misunderstandings, and there could even be deception at the beginning of these two knowing each other. I don't think that there will be any deception once these two are in a relationship, because there's just really not going to be the possibility of that, and I'll get into why. But rest assured, the minute these two meet each other, there's a lot of chemistry, a lot of romantic feelings. These two might get physical with one another very, very quickly. But with the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Cups being here, this connection might fizzle out as quickly as it started. I do see for a lot of you like a separation phase before these two come together to be in union, if I'm being completely honest. And a lot of the experiences for both parties is going to require both of them to really go within and work on themselves. And with the Five of Cups energy being here, this connection is going to help you both focus on not what you lack, but what you do have. It's really going to bring you both closer to yourselves in very important ways. I truly think if this person didn't exist, I mean, if you're watching this far into the video, it's definitely meant for you at this point. I don't think that if this person didn't exist, like, or if you and this person never met each other, you both could outrun the parts of yourself that you don't like, or avoid the aspects of yourself that you may be averse to changing or averse to evolving. And so this is a very necessary connection in the sense that it brings about a lot of ascension, a lot of deeper spiritual awareness. And I mean, the fact that we have like ritual and offering and sacred gratitude, like there is a lot of, and divine feminine, there is a lot of like spiritual energy here, and what happens on the surface just doesn't even come close to what's happening in the subtle realms. So I definitely think the temple person will be much more tuned into it at first than the prayer person is, because the prayer person is kind of dealing with their own chaos, whereas the temple person is learning to almost temper their chaos, if that makes sense. However, I do think when these two are ready to be in a connection, it's going to happen very quickly with this Eight of Wands energy being here. But with the Six of Swords being here, there is an energy of both parties really needing to move beyond the past and being able to release and let go of the past, especially the past in regards to what's happened in this connection. But Spirit is confirming that like there is a real spiritual connection here, something that definitely transcends this lifetime. And with the Ten of Cups here, I feel like this pile is, because this is, I do want to say, this is about significant relationships. So both parties could have like very like minute connections with people, but they're nothing of significance the way that this connection is. And so I really feel like for the temple person and for both parties here, there's like this deeper awareness that this connection could bring a deeper fulfillment than anything else could. And I feel like for the temple person, they're very patient in allowing their Ten of Cups to come to them. They have this more objective viewpoint of like, even if it's not the prayer person, I know that I'm worthy of a Ten of Cups moment. I'm going to patiently wait for the right person to come. Whereas for the prayer person, I feel like they will immediately recognize that they could have a beautiful, fulfilling life with the temple person. But they're very afraid of that because they don't want to deal with the pain of potentially losing that. However, once these two get together, it is going to be very powerful. And I feel like any hardships that have happened beforehand really are going to be water under the bridge, like so quickly. And I also think that there is a lot of attraction, a lot of desire, but I feel like with the Seven of Swords also being here, there's an energy where both parties are really needing to kind of battle their thoughts, because I do think that these two have very what's the word? These two may create like self-fulfilling prophecies, but I also self-sabotage, that's the word I was looking for. There is some self-sabotage energy being here. But what I can see here is like there does have to be some sort of ending in the energy of this connection before you two can come together in a significant relationship. If you are once you are in a connection with this person, that's when the real fun starts. Because what I'm really getting about these cards is they're talking a lot more about what's leading up to the relationship than the actual relationship itself. Because once we get into the actual relationship, which is what I think the Oracle cards are really reflecting, it's like I can't even talk. Like there's so much potential here. And it's really up to you guys what you do. With manifestation, prosperity, fortune, pure intentions, anything done with pure intentions between the two of you is going to reap a lot of blessings. But with exploration, like the opportunities for the two of you are absolutely limitless. I do think that there will be, I feel like you both will have like spiritual rituals that you do together, or like spiritual practices that you both explore together. With the offering card here, I do feel like maybe both of you will try to manifest this person back into your life, or will have a more dedicated spiritual practice that you both adhere to keep you both on track with what you're trying to manifest and create. There will definitely, I already think once these two meet, there will be a lot of like third eye awakenings, a lot of psychic awakenings. But once they're together, once you two are in a relationship, there's gonna be like third eye chakra upgrades out the wazoo. I feel like you guys are gonna have like really, really intense telepathic communication. You may already have that now. I feel like you'll have lots of dreams about one another. You likely already do, but it's just like on a more intense level once you're together. Like you may actually have the same dreams as them, like while you're sleeping in the same bed or something like that. I also just feel like there's a lot of opportunity for psychic development and psychic growth with you two. Like you can trust each other with what you're seeing, and like you won't judge each other. There's a lot of like, we've been through hell and high water, so at this point it's like you can tell me anything, and it's like these two are really overcoming a lot of like triggers and things that would stop these two from being truly authentic with one another before they get together. I also see that for the two of you, once you're in a relationship, there are going to be like little things that you guys always do together, whether it's like going to the grocery store together, or like Thursday night is movie night, or we always do XYZ together. Like I think you're gonna create your own little traditions and little things that you do together. Holidays may take on a more sacred meaning to the both of you. I feel like the religious elements of this, I guess I should say spiritual, not religious, because for a lot of you it's highly unlikely that you follow any sort of religious dogma, but maybe for some of you you do. Maybe you both are the same religion and hold that to a very high regard. Some of you may even convert to this person's religion or vice versa. And it is possible that maybe both of you will explore different religions. There's a lot of like spiritual exploration between the two of you, and I feel like for the temple person, it's going to be really exciting because I don't think that they've had the opportunity to really explore this with someone that they've been so deeply connected to. And for the prayer person, I think it's going to be very comforting to have the temple person around and doing this with them, because I feel like the prayer person may be too logical or may have a hard time trusting in what they're getting, and so having the support of the temple person around is going to be really helpful for them, because they're going to have that support and that assurance that they need to trust in themselves. I also feel like with the dragon being here, there's a lot of fierce protection around this connection, but I also think that there's gonna be a resurgence of a desire to kick life's ass once these two are together. Like I don't think I worded that the best, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like you'll have a repurposed desire to go out there and make life your bitch, I guess. And I think once you and this person are together, you will have a much deeper understanding for why things had to happen the way they did, and you'll be grateful for having things happen the way they did, because you'll understand that if they hadn't happened exactly the way they did and aligned exactly in the way that they should have, you two wouldn't be the people that you are once you come into this connection. And I feel like the amount of power between the two of you is like insane, and I feel like that's why as soon as I started this reading, it was just like that immediate surge of energy, because it's like you don't even need to be in the same room as you two and you can feel it. Like it's a lot, it's intense, and understandably, like you two may need to have times where you kind of, you know, separate, not like literally, I mean literally before you're in a connection, but once you're in a relationship with them, you both may have to like set boundaries with one another, because it may be too easy to get lost in one another, and it may be too easy to just kind of mold into one person. And so I do think there will be times where you have to kind of take some time to yourselves, not because there's anything going on, but just because you need time to rejuvenate. But the beautiful thing is that neither of you are going to be triggered by that or upset by that, because you'll be resonating and like vibrating on such a similar level that it's like you don't you don't need to be around this person all the time. Like, their physical presence is just one version of being close to them, you know what I mean? And I feel like as well, there's something that's always going to be drawing you back to this person. And that might actually be something that's kind of frustrating for a little while before you're in a connection with them, and vice versa. But with the divine feminine energy here, I feel like you both are going to be very compassionate towards one another. You're going to feel each other on an intense, intuitive level. Star Wars might be significant because these light beams like make me think of like lightsabers. But I feel like once you are in a connection with this person, there's just going to be a deep understanding of one another by that point, and a deep understanding of this connection and the greater spiritual purpose of it. And so a lot of the miscommunication, a lot of the worry, a lot of the stress that may have existed before you two got together really won't be present anymore, because you'll have transcended and healed a lot of that. But there is so much like feeling here, and it might be really intense for the both of you. We did, on the temple person's side, have Pisces energy coming out, so they may feel more comfortable with that deep, intense feeling. But I feel like for the prayer person, those deep, intense feelings are very unnerving, especially if they are used to being particularly detached from their emotional body. But this connection is all about truly integrating all aspects of yourself and offering yourselves to be of service to the world, to spirit, and doing what you can to not only be there for one another, but use your connection to benefit humanity and ascend to higher levels. Because I think the biggest thing about the two of you is that, like, you both are by no means perfect, and you both have definitely been on a huge journey of self-growth, of perseverance, I just heard, of ascending and evolving. And by the time you two are in a relationship together, I don't even want to say in a relationship, like, I just want to say in union, and I don't really say that very often, so take that as like me being pretty serious about this, because this is not just like an everyday relationship. And I feel like once you guys finally kind of get it figured out, like with this 8 of Wands, it's like you're just gonna be ready to go. Like, you're gonna be riding off into the sunset together, like just ready to conquer the world. And it's like the things that hold you guys back from coming together are going to be things that you guys kind of laugh at or scoff at, and or even have gratitude towards by the time you are together, because you'll understand the purpose of them happening in the first place. But there's going to be a deep gratitude, a deep sense of respect for one another. And I think that this connection and this relationship is going to just be very chilling, because you're going to understand how deeply loved you both are by the universe, and how this was always meant to be something solid. It's just that you both had to become solid individuals before you could show up and really tolerate and handle this connection in a way that wouldn't sabotage anything or create more pain. With the Ace of Pentacles being on the back of the deck, I really do feel like once you two come together, it is for good. Like, it is something really solid. And I think that there are a lot of business opportunities you two might create together, a lot of potential for abundance and prosperity. But I feel like you two, no matter how much like monetary wealth you have, you will feel like the richest people in the world because you have each other. And honestly, I feel like there might be people who are going to be disgusted by your relationship, because you're just going to be so fucking cute, and you're just going to be so like other people are going to feel the connection between the two of you. And some people may be kind of peanut butter and jelly about it, but that's not going to be your issue. And by the time you are together, it's like you're not even going to be worried about that. But I do see here that there is a lot of healing to be done before this comes together. But once you are together, you'll be so grateful you spent all that time healing, because not that you'll be like fully healed, because healing is a never-ending process, but the things that you will have healed and this person will have healed by the time you two are together will be things that help this relationship progress very smoothly. Of course, like all relationships, there are ups and downs, there are disagreements, it isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but this connection is worth it for the both of you. And I feel like, you know, any challenges you come through, you will grow through what you go through, essentially, is the best way that I could put this. And I don't know, you guys have like elf energy. I don't really know how to describe it, but there's something deeply sacred and cosmic about this connection, and it definitely transcends lifetimes. And I feel like, you know, there might be a lot of confusion, there might be a lot of frustration, there might be a lot of exhaustion related to dealing with this person and dealing with this connection. But once you two are together, it is going to be better than you could have even imagined. And I feel like if you are in separation with this person, or you know who this person is and you're not with them, I feel like Spirit is really just encouraging you. Here comes the most irritating advice you'll ever hear, even though it's true, to really just continue focusing on you. And, you know, send love when you'd like to. Don't feel like you're responsible for anyone's healing other than yourself. Really focus on finding gratitude in the day-to-day, and trust that the universe is not going to let this situation pass you or your person by. The universe really does have your back on this one. And I do want to remind you that you are by no means bound to this. You have free will, and at the end of the day, you don't have to follow something, even if it is a part of like what your soul planned to do. But if this is something that you want, and this is something, like if you're not in a relationship with this person yet, of course, and you feel like this just can't be real, or this just can't possibly happen, I feel like Spirit is saying, you gotta trust in us more, babes. I don't say babes, so I don't know who's saying babes, but your guides are really proud of you, and they're proud of your person. And even though you guys may not be proud of yourselves, and you may have a lot of confusion and a lot of just like difficulty, maybe letting go of certain parts of the past, like you will grow through this, and you will get to that point of union with this person if that's what you want. Because I'm just going to be honest, this is an incredibly spiritual connection, and to treat it like it's just, you know, two kids dating is just not, it's just not the case. Like this is not a very mainstream sort of connection, in the sense that like this type of connection is not for the faint of heart. This is for spiritual warriors who genuinely are on that path of ascension and evolution. And you know, if you're here and this resonates with you, like, how does it feel being a spiritual warrior? And you're probably like, not good if you're not doing well right now. But I'm sending you lots of love, and like just know, like, man, you're powerful as fuck, and so is this person, and you're not crazy. I feel like that's what I have to say. You're not crazy. You might feel crazy. You don't owe anyone an explanation for anything. You don't even have to owe yourself an explanation for why you feel the things you do. You don't have to tell anyone about anything. And I would even kind of encourage you to be conscious of what you do and don't tell people when it comes to this connection, because when it comes to spiritual connections like these, a lot of like mainstream dating beliefs don't really align. But this is a connection that transcends typical standards, typical societal understandings. Like this transcends time and space. And I really, honestly, I think the most frustrating thing about this is that I simply can't put words to this connection and truly do it justice. I mean, I hope I am somewhat, but yeah, this is just not a connection that you can really explain in words, in human words. Or if you can, I guess I just don't have them. But it's worth it. And I feel like that's why you and this person never truly give up on this. And even if you do, it's like that energy of giving up is what realigns you with it in the proper way anyway. I feel like you both will be together once you've truly reached this state of surrender and peace in your own personal lives, and like have really opened up to the energy of love. And like I feel like it's just gonna happen kind of naturally, kind of out of nowhere, but once it does, you're gonna be like, damn, spirit really did have my back all along. But if you're already in this relationship, I'm gonna need you to comment down below and like either confirm what I'm saying or give some support to other pile 4s, because I can imagine if you picked this pile and you were hoping about hearing about someone else, I can understand that would be frustrating, which you can. You have free will. You don't have to hang around and entertain something that you don't want, but deep down, I think you know what you want if you've gotten this far. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull some surrender cards, which is perfect. I understand now why this is the only deck I was pulling for advice. Like, sometimes when I do readings, I don't understand why I'm doing them until I get to a certain pile, and like it's this pile where I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand why I'm doing this reading now. Okay, so Spirit, what does pile, I almost called you pile 1, sorry. What does pile 4 need to surrender at this time? Surrender to prayer. Oh my God, that's actually kind of creepy considering this person is the prayer person. Damn, okay. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. We have surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. Okay, I need to talk about The Alchemist for like 2 seconds. If you've never read that book, you fucking need to. It's such a good book. But I feel like these sorts of relationships don't really come about for people who aren't really following, quote unquote, their personal legend or their personal path. Like, this is the connection where you're like unleashing your full power, and it like takes your full power to like anchor it into union. But like, you're powerful enough to do that. And like, for those of you that are already in union, like, remind everyone else like that you are powerful enough to do that. And I really do feel like this connection is the opportunity to just see the true spiritual warriors that you are. What is that fucking noise? Sorry I'm saying the F word so much. I don't know why I am. Well, I know why I am because I say it all the time. I was just hearing some weird noises. I hope I'm not getting murdered. Anyway, we have surrender to setting limits. It's healthy to set boundaries in relationship. Practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. Yeah, I think that's really important. And this doesn't just extend to this connection. This extends to all connections, especially people who feel like they have the right to comment on things that they don't understand. Like, one thing about spiritual connections is that there are often people that get themselves involved, whether they be friends, family members, even like karmic partners. But I'm really getting the vibe more so it's like friends specifically that you may want to like set limits with or put up boundaries with. And you may not even have to like say it overtly, but just to be on the safer side, like, because sometimes people can have good intentions but be discouraging anyway. So I guess that's just something Spirit wants you to be aware of. What else? Surrender, procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. And on the back of the deck, we have surrender to receiving support and love. We have surrender to Spirit underneath that. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So even maybe you need to set limits with yourself and recognize where maybe, you know, you can trust yourself, or you can open yourself up to more love. Like, you don't need it just from this person. Like, you can get love in many different ways. But I'm going to finish this reading off with some tea leaf oracles, and I just I've been kind of telling people to take the messages underneath them with a grain of salt, but I've been looking more so for like signs, symbolism, synchronicities, things like that that might be helpful for you. So I've just kind of like, take these however you want. Feel free, if they don't resonate, just throw them in the garbage. So we have Weeping Willow. We have Family Sorrow here. So weeping willows could be significant here, or family issues, or people that feel like family could be like in a blockage here, or something that needs to be healed. We have Grasshopper. Situations in the balance that require careful handling. Yeah, I was gonna say earlier that I didn't. Like, it felt like the temple person would see the prayer person as like the temple person is like the sensei, and the prayer person is like the young grasshopper when it comes to like spiritual stuff. Oh, we have the Tiger coming out again, doing something risky, taking a chance. And we have Sunrise, new creative ideas, new adventures, a fresh start. We have Broken Ring, parting of ways, either in romance or in business. So maybe this is like a sign if you're in separation with this person, or maybe you have to end something else in order to be involved in this. We also have Bull, plenty of material things, and Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. On the back of the deck, we have Tree, affairs with your family. Yeah, so there's a lot of family energy here. Maybe this person is soul family, but we also have Whale underneath that, great worry over nothing. So I think Spirit is asking you not to worry about things outside of your control. But is there anything else, Spirit? This is awesome. We have Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assure success. Like, that's really what you need to hear. Like, I couldn't say it better myself. Wheel, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. So I think Spirit is asking you to maybe be more decisive, or if you're in like a limbo period, not to worry about that, because there's almost a purpose for it. We also have Rose. Romance is in the air, so roses could be a significant flower. We also have Happiness, and we have Dagger, fear, worries, tense situations. And on the back of the deck, we have Archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. And I'm gonna finish this off with the Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. So I probably pulled the most for you guys, but I really just wanted to give you as many messages as possible before we head over to the extended, because, just want to help you guys out. But Pile 4, I think this is where I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards and for letting me be a part of your energy. And thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out the extended, which will be linked below. You can check out my merch, which is also linked below, and my social media, which, do be aware that there are tons of scammers pretending to be me, but they will never be me. So just know that I do not offer personal readings. I'm not offering personal readings at this time, and I will not try to solicit a personal reading from you in your DMs. I only have one Instagram account, and it is linked below. So if it is not linked below, it is not mine. But yeah, I think that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye.